everyone. How is everyone
Hello.
doing? Hello. Hello, hello. Hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Not even weekend, it's Wednesday for
Yeah,
us.
hump day.
Yeah, hump day. Anyway, yeah, haven't had my coffee today. So let's see who's here. Miss Felicia and Sherry. Is it Sherry? Bubbles.
Jerry.
Sherry. Okay. Hey, Sherry. I just want to make sure I was saying that correctly. And we've got Miss Hannah. Hannah Lipskey is our special guest for today. Also, our sponsor. She's one of the artists, and she's at Iterations Crafts. So she is doing a sponsorship with us on an event on our wonderful hashtag Retro Classic. So I wanted to thank you for being here and making time for us and sponsoring as well.
Oh yeah, no, this is super fun. This is super
Yeah.
fun for me. I'm really glad that you let me come and get involved.
Yep,
Yeah.
and we've got some special news towards the end of or kind of middle program, I guess. We're going to go through some stuff, and we'll announce our special little thing that we're going to be doing at the end. So stick around. Felicia, hello, darling, and Miss Cindy Michelle's another sponsor with us. Thank you, sweetheart. And thank you for coming into the live. Amber, hope you're feeling good, sweetie. We were going to have Rose Profit of Rose Profit Creations on as well. However, she's got some medical stuff she's going through and testing. So I just want to wish her well. Lots
Yeah.
of love. However you want to do that, I don't know. But hope you're doing okay. And we'll see you when you get back. Um, Sue, hey, sweetheart. Marianne. I got to go back and actually read chat because I haven't had a chance to do that yet. And I think I'm forgetting somebody. Did I get everyone so far? Let's see.
Lisa
So
and V. Hi.
I'm trying to
Felicia. Anita.
everyone. Chaotic. That's who I was missing. I knew you popped in. I just couldn't see you. So I hope you guys are all enjoying the event. I'm having such a fun time with it. I'm trying to get stuff done. I don't know. Christopher's already finished his, so I don't know what he's working on, but this is what I've got so far. Ta-da! I don't know if it's coming in clear. So I've done, I can't see. It's too big for me, but I've done
That's
all of that
good.
tweet so far. So anywhere there's, there we go.
No
Anywhere you see
grid.
the tape, no grid. Yeah, it's all done.
Oh, you're just
And
getting into all the fun colors.
yes, I was like, okay, well, let me do the color blocking first. And the color blocking is mostly all ABs, other than Tweety. And so I don't know about you guys, but when you color block ABs are rough. Like they're
Hmm.
rough on your single placer. They're just rough. So it's been a little bit of a struggle, but I'm loving it. So, and now we're going to get on to the color and yay. Thank you, Risa. Hi, Risa, sweetheart. Um, and we've had 3 viewings in the It's Showtime room. So I know we're kind of doing them during the day, but that's when Christopher's available. And I've been getting really tired at night, so I haven't been doing my all-nighters like I usually do. I'm usually up to like 3 o'clock in the morning and only could get to about midnight at that. So we've got to see 9 to 5 was the first one. And then we saw Pretty in Pink. And today we saw The Birdcage. So we have some people popping in and out, so it's been kind of fun and definitely different, very, very different. And we're going to continue it when June Pride is coming up. I'm going to continue it because I know there's a lot of wonderful movies out that are very expressive, and I'd like to join it too. But anywho, besides that, we've got one more week to go. So because Cindy Michelle has added a contribution and a special sponsorship with a gift card for her diamondpaintandfanatics.com. Cindy, if I got it wrong, let me know, but I'll post all the links are on the Facebook page. She's added another sponsorship for us with a gift card. So we're going to have a 4th week giveaway. We weren't planning on it because the 4th week is going to be the grand prize, but we're going to do a little giveaway for the 4th week as well. And that'll be a special prize. And we'll see what else we can find to add to it. but wanted
Yes,
to.
and Cindy has her own diamond painting company, and she just had some new releases this week, and they're really super cute. So please keep an eye out on her. Again, the links will be provided.
And it's diamondpaintingfanatics.com. I hope that goes through. No, that didn't go through.
Uh, daintydiamondart.co.uk.
Oh, is it? Am I getting the wrong website? She post it?
I'm sure Cindy can tell us.
Yeah,
Yes.
Cindy, post your diamond. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think I need. Nope. Post it, Cindy Michelle, and then I'll add it as a link. Sorry. I didn't put my links up at all. I'm so sorry. But it's also on the Facebook group page. But anyway, we got Hannah here, and Hannah is an artist, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself and what she's got special on what she's planning to do for the event. So if you want to go ahead and share, and we'll share some of her images as well. So, Hannah, did you want to tell us something about yourself?
The floor is yours.
The floor is yours, my love.
My name is Hannah, and I feel like I have to keep saying this because some of you all used to know me as Hannah Mosier, popping up in the lives and things like that, but I got married, so now it's Hannah Lipskey, which is, yes. Um, yeah, and me and my wife Claire are actually planning a wedding for this summer, which is very exciting,
Oh,
so we're doing all of that. And we just got a new puppy and yeah, anyhow. So I have been a diamond painter for several years, like back even, a couple of years before the pandemic. And I only more recently started getting into the art side of it and designing art myself. And so I've been it was really like playing around with the AI software Midjourney that really got me into it. And then that just unlocked a whole thing where I just want to learn how to draw and how to paint and how to all like figure out how to use all the different digital tools to combine digital paintings that I do with like the Midjourney AI stuff and just figure out, just where it can take me and make fun things that I mean, a lot of the goal is to just make stuff that's not usually that I haven't really seen that much available from different companies, get new art out there. I think I'm a lot like Rose.
sorry, Fred. I didn't see you pop in.
Someone
Sorry.
was knocking at the door.
I didn't even hear it. You're good, Brandy. Sorry, Hannah.
Yeah, I was just saying that I think I'm a lot like Rose in that like I really like, especially since the aim of my art is to like make things for diamond paintings most often. Like I really like making things in just a ton of different styles and just seeing where the creativity takes me and, coming up with fun things that people haven't seen before. And yeah. Um,
It's amazing where what you can do nowadays. Like, if even if you're not an artist, you have everything developing in your brain and what you want to imagine that you can do or can create. And I think in a way, a lot of people are against AI, but in a way, I think AI is great, especially for people
Tools.
who have challenges that can't write or can't draw. And
mm,
I think it's a great way for people who don't know how to be expressive, or who don't have the ability to be that expressive to be expressive.
Well, it's a
So,
different way to express too, and
yeah.
everybody's
Yeah.
expression is different.
yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, for a lot of people like me, it's a way in to like learning a lot of other kinds of like more traditional digital painting stuff. But there are a ton of people who love using it who have been artists for a long time, like one of my friends is somebody she's been an art curator. She was a professor at an art school for 20 years until like chronic pain kind of took her out. And so she hasn't been able to physically paint, but she loves using the AI and just seeing, I think there's some, I mean, obviously the art community is just full of lots of different kinds of people who feel lots of different kinds of ways about things, but a
Yeah.
lot of people really just love the creativity of playing with whatever new tool and seeing what comes out with it and yeah, so people can use it in a lot of different ways and And I've said this before, but I just think the fact that it's so accessible that you can kind of jump in and just play around and,
Yeah.
like that brings people in. Like, there's so many people who, like, as you get further and further into it and you're trying to figure out like what you want to make, like the amount of research that we all end up doing about like different kinds of art movements and art styles and you just learn so much. And I really love Midjourney too because it's got a Discord community with just like a ton of people who are just really excited about making art and learning about art, even if that's like something that they have a huge background in, or if it's something that's totally new to them. And it's just, yeah, I just think it's really fun and experimental, and I have no idea where it's going. Um,
Yeah.
it's the technology is developing super rapidly, and that's pretty fun too.
And you know what? It can help inspire, like if you're stuck, or a lot of people who get writer's block or art block or something,
Yeah,
it's a great way just to see what something's going to turn out so that then they can create or edit how
Yeah.
they want to and make it their own. And Brandy, I am so sorry, guys. I didn't see Brandy in the background. I just kind of popped her in. So I'm so sorry.
You're
Welcome,
fine.
Brandy.
I, I just happened to look up and I'm like, oh God, I'm on the screen. I was just
So,
diamond painting.
Hannah, Brandy is our third host or the host of the event. So, welcome, Brandy, into the show as well. And we do have some people that joined. Kathy or Catherine, sorry, hey, sweetie. Tammy came in. Anita, Marion, and Tammy says, "I understand chronic pain, so I hate to hear or see anyone suffer from it." Yeah, it's
So
a
I have a
lot of
lot.
it.
I have a lot to say as per usual. So to piggyback on what Hannah was saying, first off, I respect somebody more in the art community if they have an issue with the whole AI thing because they're in the actual community and know things. Now, while I might disagree with them as a outsider, with the whole poo-pooing it, they at least have a more in-depth point of view. But you don't really hear too much about them complaining about it. You have other people outside who are making all the chitter chatter about it, complaining, and they don't know anything about what they're talking about. So that's what really upsets me, is because I know from my personal friend experiences that it is very distressing when people go after the AI artists and they don't really know what they're talking about. Like you should know what you're talking about before you know, put your chips in there and really affect people. It really upsets me. So I'm sorry that happens.
It's a
yeah, I haven't gotten as much of it as some of my other friends who've gotten really hit hard by it, but yeah, I think that I mean, I think like one of the big things is just like there's no such thing as like artists feel this way about this technology because there's a whole range of different things that different artists feel about it. Some of them love using it, some of them love seeing where it's going, some of them feel worried about it or the ways the
yeah,
technology works. It's like it's a whole range, so I think that gives, I've obviously like done a ton of research into it and trying to understand like where for my own self, like what do I feel like is like understand how the technology works, where I would put like my own ethical boundaries in terms of what
Mhm.
I would or do or not do with the
yeah,
Yeah.
technology, and I think we can trust a lot of the A artists, at least that we know in our community, that they are doing that.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, I think just in general, just everyone should just know like a lot of people, artists who have been working in the field before this came around feel a lot of different ways about it.
Oh,
There's
sure.
no like, yeah, there's not just like one opinion. And that's also like, I learned a lot about art history in school, and it's just like, that's always been the whole thing about art is just
Yes.
like, yeah, it's
I
just
was
that
just gonna.
it's,
Sorry, I was just going to say that's to me what life is about. Whenever issues like this and a swath of sort of issues come up, it's like life is evolution. We are not stagnant. We don't stay. And so art since we're talking about art from what it was in like the 1600s 1500s is vastly different from what it is
yeah,
now. I mean, those people would never think of modern art as art, and everything in between. So that's what it is. It's all evolution and evolving, and it's life.
And they've all been arguing about it the entire time too. Like that's the other thing. Like that's part of it. Like,
Yes,
um,
art
so
is about
I have a
discussion.
philosophy background. For anyone who doesn't know, like that's what I did. I was getting my PhD in philosophy and teaching philosophy before my chronic illness hit, and I couldn't do that anymore. And I love like philosophy of art discussions because that's part of the fun of it too. Is like trying to push those boundaries all the time, try to understand what it is. And, so all of the debates are, as long as they're not just, I mean, sort of silly hashtag social media debates aren't very fun. But when you actually like dig into it and get to talk about it and like, like really be like, oh, what does this mean for,
Yeah.
How we
I
think
kind of
about
want to
all
put
these things?
my 2 cents, because this is actually something that I've been studying. I follow quite a lot of YouTube artists,
Mhm.
ones that are artists. I follow ones um, like Jazza, who actually has his brother is an AI artist, and he's played around with it. And so, like, I've seen the research and all that, and I think here's the only issue that I'm going to go ahead and say is that it depends on the program that you are using, because absolutely there are some AI programs that straight off do go straight for other artists' work. Yes, they do. And if you are an unethical AI artist and choose to not really like change the image, you just choose, oh, I put in this, I like this. And I've actually seen where some people have done that, and they
Oh
put
yeah.
up their original piece and it's exactly like the one that the AI spit out
Yeah.
because they literally ripped it off. So yes, I'm sorry, there are some the
Of
AI
course.
Mhm.
programs that are ripping off the artist's work. Yes, absolutely. And so
Yeah.
that's where you have to be. And I think that's where some of the issues are, is because people are like, oh, in 5 seconds, I can create a piece of art. Well, no, technically, in that one, you didn't. They took someone else's work and there you go. You've created it. So that's
Yeah.
where there is an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
No, absolutely. Like it's one of those things where it's like with any technology, it's about how you use it. And actually and it like the program that I use with Midjourney, it's not designed for you to do it that way, but you can use it that way. You can there's also like a culture around AI art. It's all the NFT bros. That's what I call them. But it's like there's like a they're the people who just sort of think like that they could make a ton of money through NFTs by
Yeah.
doing this, and they don't really care about the creative expression side of that and things like that. And so that, that's really, in my mind, that's just a really cynical way to go about it. Not, that's not what it's about. But like if people are using it for creative expression and trying to figure out how, because the thing is like, I think for a lot of us who are deeply involved in it, like we want to find our own styles. We want to be making things that don't look the same as what everyone else is
Exactly.
making with the program. Like that's actually the fun of it. But there's
I
definitely
think
like
it's
the
the people that are just trying to use it just to make money,
exactly, yeah.
because
You're always going to find horrible people
I
like
can
that,
put in some
unfortunately.
type stuff and I
Yeah.
can get art that I can then sell in I get something that might take an artist a year to create. I can do it in a day and I can make all this money. And so it's because they're not really going through, like, where the one that like I said, the person I follow, his brother, he probably spends weeks on one painting, because he goes and he does he gets, and then he changes, and then he alters, and then he puts it back into the
Yeah,
system
yeah.
and does it, and then changes it some more, puts it back into the system. So like he's actually creating something. I just wish more people would do
Yeah.
that, because there are people that are giving it a bad, and if I were an artist and I saw something out there and it was literally my artwork. That's why I was showing that, she looked and she's like, that's literally my artwork. They've changed one small thing,
Yeah.
and I get nothing for it.
Well, and they can, and you can actually specifically train certain of the programs to recreate people's art if you want to. Like you can try to do that in a way that's really. I mean, the other thing I think is funny though is like people think that it's a big money maker, but it's another one of these things where there's all these YouTube videos that will tell you how you can earn a ton of money from NFTs by making AI art. And then you can't actually. Like maybe there are a couple of people who are making some money by trying to do that route, but mostly from what I've seen, like in the AI art communities that I'm a part of, very few people have figured out how to monetize anything that they make,
Yeah.
And so I think it's another one of those things where it's like, yeah, I think my feeling as like an AI artist in the diamond painting community and the other AI artists I know in the diamond painting community is like, if you have questions, just ask us. Like, don't assume that we like, because I've definitely seen people in the group saying like, well, we don't know how this person got that piece of art, so we can't trust it. And it's like, well, actually, you could just ask us. We're actually already in the same groups that you're in. And I think we're usually pretty open to talking about how we go about making our stuff and you know, so I think like, yeah, this is my 2 cents is like, okay, if you are seeing art out in the social media world and it is made by someone whose username is NFTbro69,
Yeah, kind of
have
like,
some have some doubts about that. But
yeah,
but yeah, if you see people who are really, and the vast majority of people using these programs have no desire to sell it at all, too, because they just want to play.
yeah,
So it's another one of those things where it's like there are absolutely unethical ways to use it,
yeah,
and there are absolutely like super creative and interesting and fascinating ways to use it. And
That's why I wanted to actually bring it to a positive to get off that negative stuff.
yeah.
Is the two things. Number one, I am so grateful that people like you and Rose and other, well, I don't know if there's any others, maybe a couple, are actually creating art specifically for our community that is made for diamond painting, because that's
Mhm.
great, because art isn't really made that way. It's always acquired from artists, who make regular artwork. So it's fabulous that you all do that, number one. And the
yeah,
second thing was, as you said, for anybody who wants to get into it, it's a way to express creativity when either you might not have it or you want to regain it or anything under the sun. That's a great thing. So, like you said, there's always unethical things. That's life again. We
yeah.
just got to try to keep that out, but and just try to focus, and hopefully the best of it will come out and the worst of it will eventually go away.
Yep, that's true. Anita says that she sees Nefertiti behind you in a diamond painting because
Oh
that was her very first stack painting.
yeah. This was the first one I bought from DAC. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it has a special place in my
Oh,
heart. Um, the other ones that I have up are so let's see. I've got a Summer with the Masters.
ooh.
That one in the corner is one of mine, one of my art pieces. This is from Christopher's event, the Rude, Crude, and Nude event. Um, and yeah, so sorry for the people who weren't looking for the nudity. I've got a DIY moon shop over there. Um, yeah.
You can diamond paint. See? All right, we got Sparkle and Drill. Hi, sweetheart. I'm just going to go back through chat real quick. Chaotic says, completely agree, Christopher, with your earlier comment. Educate yourself first. Be respectful is the message Sydney Michelle gives. Jealousy, jealousy. Amber says, I think individuals should state, in my opinion, before saying anything, of course. And Cindy Michelle says, oh, Hannah's a sweetheart and is very open to conversing with anyone, which
No.
is really sweet. Yeah, I'm finding that about a lot of artists and people that I reach out to, too. I think, oh my gosh, they're big people. And um, here I am able to talk and have a conversation. And I think that's really, really cool. And I'm finding that more and more in the community as well. Hey, Jess. So do you guys, Brandy, do you have any questions, or anyone from the live guests have any questions for Miss Hannah?
Oh yeah, you could totally ask me questions too about like what have I been playing around with? What have I been doing? I've been trying
We've
out
got
new
some
things.
stuff.
Well, I wanted to ask, yes, what diamond paintings of your own, besides the one you have you, I think I've seen you working on another one. How many have you completed yet? How many have you actually bought? Because I know you showed me quite a few.
Ooh.
Okay, so I am a serial starter, and I also have the problem where I get excited about events, and so I start things for events, and
Yes.
then I only get halfway through it, and then it's time for the next event. So I'm not sure if I mean, I've worked on a few others of mine, but I'm not sure if I've actually totally finished anything. And the other thing is like, since I'm struggling with chronic vertigo, like I never know how dizzy I'm going to be on any given day, and I'm always at least somewhat dizzy, you know, but I have worse days than others. And like diamond painting was actually one of the things that I was doing to try to help with like my visual vestibular training in order to try to get correct some of that or whatever. But I hit a lot of days where I can't do art or I can't diamond paint or whatever. So I never really know what I can finish. But I can show you partials for sure. Like things that are not totally finished.
Brandy, how are you doing this thing?
I'm kind of listening out for Wayne. He had to go to the hospital last night, and so if I seem distracted, he's got to go to Birmingham tomorrow, but he's in a lot of pain, and so I've been having to go back and forth
Oh, I'm sorry,
since I got home tonight. So I apologize if I seem a little out. I'm
It's okay, sweetheart.
just worried. We don't know because his doctor that he's got to go talk to is in Birmingham, and he won't let me go with him. So yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. Our hearts go out.
Yes.
That's a really hard time.
Yeah.
Well, we're just hoping that the cancer's not back. So that's, if y'all are, I hate to ask, but if y'all are like praying kind, just, I don't know, maybe just kind of
Send some love
put
out,
out
guys.
something out to
Yeah.
the universe to please know.
100%. Our hearts are with you and thoughts and all that.
Yes.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
You don't have to
You're
be
okay,
sorry. This is
sweetheart.
life. Life is important.
You're okay. Breathe.
Yeah.
You're okay. Send some hearts out, you guys.
I mean,
Some love.
absolutely. That kind of stuff, it's just so hard. It's just, whew, yeah, that kind of emotional stress. It's just really, really rough. And hospital life is not fun.
No,
It
it's
is.
not.
Um,
But happy stuff. Y'all stop. I'm good. I'm good.
Here,
I'm working on
I'll show.
Susan.
So, this one is one of mine that I am most of the way through. Yeah, this one is licensed by Royal Diamond Painting if you're here in the US, but I don't think it's on their website yet, but you could definitely ask for it if you wanted. This one is called No One Steals My Voice. It's my take on a darker Ariel. And then I started this one for the Alice in Wonderland event. And as you can see, I didn't get very far because we adopted a puppy.
oh,
But yeah, here's
that's a
That's
cool
nice.
Alice.
yeah, it's a Rococo themed Alice. She's going into the Looking Glass. And I have another one that's not here that is half finished that is the companion to this one that's called On the Other Side of the Looking Glass, that is like a darker, creepier take on Alice in Wonderland. And both of these are at the one with the diamond art at the moment.
That's really cool.
Excellent.
Tammy is asking, who are some of your favorite artists and where do you get your inspiration from?
Some of my favorite artists. Let's see. To diamond paint, I really like I love the Christopher Lovell ones. Like I mean I like some things with like a bit of a dark fantasy edge. Um I really like Ian DeJesus, who's at
Yes.
Distracted by Diamonds. Oh
Yes.
gosh, her style is just absolutely gorgeous.
I
And
got 5 of the 6 of hers. I love it.
yeah, I think I have 4. There's also, is Carolyn Smith her name, Chris, who did
Yes.
the Yellow Frida,
Yeah.
and I also started the Inquisitor one with the cat.
Yep,
I
have
love
that
her
one.
style as well. I really love a lot of the old masters too. So
Yes.
you'll see a lot of Klimt in a lot of my more recent stuff.
They're fabulous.
We
on
did.
Instagram.
Yeah,
Follow
yeah.
Instagram.
So yeah, that's been something that I've been doing a lot of Klimt for sure. Starting to get some Kandinsky wandering in, but I don't really have any of that to show yet.
Yeah. There's
Um,
there's a
yeah.
lot of dark art, dark fantasy people in here too, so that's pretty
Lots
cool.
of people like that stuff.
So we do have a little special thing for you guys that we wanted to show you. Hannah has provided something for me, and I created a really basic slideshow, but we wanted to show you some of the art, and then afterwards, Hannah's IG is at. I thought I put it in the chat. I'm sorry. Hannah, it's at Iteration Crafts, right?
Yeah, at Iterations Craft. So just cut off the Hannah Lipskey part of my name down there, and Iterations Crafts. You can find me on Instagram.
All right. So I am going to see if I can figure out how to do this.
Oh, and I also just want to say, it's Iterations Crafts with an S on the end.
Oh, sorry,
There,
sweetheart.
Stacy. Yeah. I just wanted to say also with my Instagram, originally I started it as a way for people to be able to get affordable artwork for customs that they can use with any company, especially budget companies if they want to, and things like that. And even though I'm now like licensing with companies, I've always made it part of the deal that any images on my Instagram, even if they're licensed with a company, you can still contact me and buy the image from me to use as a custom with whatever company you want. So anything you see on my Instagram, if you fall in love with it, I can tell you if it's with a company or not, but even if it is, but it's a company that doesn't ship to you or just isn't your thing or whatever, you can always contact me, and I have a pay what you want, pay what you can policy for buying any of my images on Instagram to make it affordable to people. So you can, sometimes I give them for free, sometimes people pay me a lot more than that, but it's all, my art is there for the diamond painters, So if you see something that
That's
speaks to you, just always contact me, and then you can use it with whatever company you want.
That's
And
really
whatever
cool.
company you can
That's
afford.
thoughtful.
Yeah.
It's really thoughtful. Anita says, Hannah, I love your Strange New Worlds. That is gorgeous.
Oh yeah. So I've got more in that series coming. A
So,
few, yeah.
do you guys want to see what we've got to show? Anybody interested in what we're showing?
I'm super curious what you picked.
I know. I know you are. I'm just waiting to see if they're interested to see what we've got behind the door. Well, I'm going to go ahead and show it, and then you guys can ooh and ah. Let me see. I'm going to change this if I know how. Give me just 1 second. We go to present. Let's see. All right, give me just a second, guys. This is the first time I'm doing this, so if I can do this correctly, then yay. All right, there we go. Hold on. No, stop, stop, stop. All right, so Hannah has given me and Christopher some images. Brandy was at work, so we couldn't involve her, but we went through and picked out images to show you guys of her work. And there's a special thing going on afterwards that we're going to talk about. Hi, Morgana. That we'll talk about. That's going to be really, really, really super exciting. And it was supposed to be like part 2 of the other half of our guests that couldn't be here, but we'll go into all of that as soon as we're done. But I'm going to go ahead and expand this open and show you guys what we came up with. Hannah doesn't even know yet, so this will be a surprise for her too. But this is all of her artwork.
Oh yeah, see, there's more of the Strange New World series coming out here.
I love that desert one with the moon. Oh, that's fabulous.
I like that one on the bottom. And of course, we had to get our retro punks out, which I love. I wish we had it earlier for this event, but I didn't even think about
I
it.
only made them
This one's
this
my
past
Snow
week,
White. I
so-
call her Snow White.
Oh yeah, she's definitely Snow White.
Of course, we got Egypt as well. I didn't put any music to it, but those are gorgeous. Anita's adding you as a new favorite artist.
Oh, I just saw that. That is so sweet. Thank
Hi,
you.
Cynthia. I love the steampunk ones. Those were pretty cool.
Yeah.
We had to get the guys in as well.
Yes, because not many people include males in their artwork.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've been trying to do more to, have some more options.
Okay. Now, do I click off of this? How do I get back? All right, hold on 1 second. Nope. There we go. All right. So what did you guys think? Did you really enjoy her art? So what we're going to share with you guys is that Hannah is helping to sponsor our event by providing.
Oh, I was gonna say, is that me?
Yeah, you can, I don't know how to provide a customized painting for you
Basically
guys.
a free commission. So you can, so if you win the prize, then you can contact me and you can tell me what kind of image you've always wanted to diamond paint, like if there's a certain kind of subject that you've never seen or a style or just things that you like or whatever. And then I'll work up some different options for you to choose from. And then when you pick out your final image, I'll edit it up and everything, and then it'll be yours to use. I believe Stacy is going to say.
Yes, so the second part of it is that Rose Profit of Rose Profit Creations is sponsoring us with a gift card, $25 gift card, Australian dollars, for her website, which is roseprofitcreations.com. There's diamond paintings available, but there's also other merchandise such as mugs, coffee cups, notepads. Well, mugs and coffee cups kind of go the same, but you get the gist. So there's other stuff that you can use it for that when she commissions it, you have basically the license to do with it whatever you'd like. So we're tying in Rose's gift card with it so that way you guys have a means of being able to produce that on whatever you'd like to produce it on. So it was like a great team effort. And I wish Rose was here too to share, but and not only that, but she's also Rose already let it out of the bag, but she is also going to be a new artist with Rose Profit Creations starting in March, and we're so excited. So Rose and her are going to be going through different type of artwork to have on the website, and some of those are ones that we may pick. We don't know. So just, yeah, you
Yeah.
be on the lookout.
Yeah, I
And
was just gonna ask. Anita wanted to know when that kind of tied in. Are you only with the one with the diamond art? So are there
So,
other companies you're signed with?
so the one with the diamond art has the most of my artwork available right now because they started first with it. I'm also licensed with Royal Diamond Painting here in the US. If you are in the United States, their business has been, she's been going through a lot of health issues and there's been a slowdown in the business and stuff like that. But I think she's picking up orders again. And so I only have a few on there, but she's got like another 20 or something to put up. So more will be coming with Royal Diamond Painting. And I will be launching with Rose next month. I've
which is
also,
what, in like 7 more days?
yeah. I well, I think we're aiming more towards the end of
Yeah.
March to launch
Okay.
me. But
Okay.
yes, it will be next month. And because we have to choose the images and then have time
Yeah,
for Rose to
exactly.
make the renderings and stuff. I have a couple of contracts with companies that haven't been announced yet, one of whom is definitely a friend of this group. And then there's another one that I know is a company that you all have heard of that I am super excited, and I don't know when they're going to start getting released, but a lot of my favorite stuff is with them. But
Ooh.
I
Ooh,
I
yeah.
don't she hasn't announced it yet, so I am not announcing it yet, but you'll start to see me yeah, in several different places. And there's a couple of other just like one-offs, with companies that have licensed maybe just one image or one or two images, like
Mhm.
smaller companies. So you might see me just pop up somewhere else here and there. But right now, the places to look for me are the one with the diamond art, Royal Diamond Painting, Uniquely Yours Down Under, but I think their shop is closed down right now, last I knew, for overhauling and stuff like that. I'm not quite sure what's going on. They're redoing their website. I don't know. Anyhow, doesn't matter. But yes, there is art there. And then yeah, starting next month, with Rose, which will be really
Yeah,
fun.
that'll be
And I'm
Excellent.
fun.
really, and there should be 2 more companies announcing within the next month. So
Awesome, awesome.
yeah.
Morgana says she loves the art, as well as Risa says, wow, those are beautiful. Cynthia loved the slideshow. Tammy is saying, oh wow, I want a diamond painting of your art so bad. I love the person in the wheelchair. I've been in one my whole life. That means something to me, which is,
Yes.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I knew, oh, that's
yeah.
a must. Inclusion. You know.
Yeah. That
Hey
was
guys,
something. Oh, sorry.
real
Go ahead,
quick,
Brandy.
I hate to, but I've got to go.
Of
I've
Okay.
got to go take
course.
care of one. I'm so sorry. He
It's
Yeah.
just
okay.
called me.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
So
okay.
yeah.
I apologize. I'm sorry, guys.
It's
It's
okay. All
okay,
the best
Brandy.
to
You
you. We
take
love
family some
you.
more posts. Love you,
Yeah. It
sweetheart.
was lovely
Thank
to
you,
meet
guys.
you.
Bye,
Nice to meet
sweetheart.
you.
Um, yeah, so I was just gonna say with Tammy, yeah, it was really important to me, inclusion, again, with this idea of trying to make art available that people don't always see in the diamond painting community, and that might not necessarily be commercially viable for like a huge company like Diamond Art Club,
Right.
Yeah.
where they have to think that they're going to have, a large number of sales of something in order to produce it,
Yeah.
and then that means we keep seeing the same kind of art.
Yes.
Um, and a couple of the areas of inclusion that were really important to me, one was disability, because like that's something that I have dealt with quite a bit myself. And I know that there've just not been images out there
Right.
of people with any kind of visible disabilities that we've seen. And the newer version of Midjourney is way better at it, but man, at the time I had to fight so hard to get that image of a wheelchair that actually looked like a wheelchair. I also struggled a lot. I have one image that I really, really love. That's one of my favorites. That's of an older blind woman with a cane. And but I also want to say, if you're interested in disability inclusion in your art, like check out Knox River. And her Instagram is Mad Noxy, but also her art is at the one with the diamond art as well. And she has a few, she is also a disabled artist, and she has a few absolutely fantastic images with wheelchair users that are very much expressing that feeling of the way in which like a wheelchair gives you that freedom to go where you can go, you know, and it's not like totally moving away from this feeling of a wheelchair as the thing that binds you. Instead, it's your access to mobility and freedom and stuff.
Yep. Well, yeah, I would say it's ironic too that so many of us, the reason why we diamond paint is because we have an issue somewhere with something in our lives.
Yeah.
It's not just a craft, you know, it's something that helps us. So the fact that there actually aren't many things out there, or anything at all almost, that would kind of tap into that side of the actual diamond painting itself, is kind of crazy. Now that you were talking about it, so this is actually a fabulous thing that you and her are doing, or them are doing more of this kind of stuff. You know,
it's also one of those things where I think maybe companies assume that it's not commercially viable when they don't actually realize how much of a hunger there is for that. So, I mean, I've also been trying to create more images lately that I feel like are different kinds of self-portraits about my own experiences with chronic vertigo and chronic illness and depression and things like that, and trying to find ways to communicate that as well. And for me, the other thing is like I make a ton of queer art because I am gay, and so that's like, you know, obviously an interest of mine. And again, it's a thing where I love how much pride-related stuff is out there with the big companies, but there's so much more to LGBT life than just rainbow pride.
Yes.
You know, like, and so, and you'll also notice, like, yes, I'm bringing more images of men for sure, but they're usually gay. Like, but you know, yeah, it's just wanting to get more of those kinds of things that are like a different take on things that aren't just like trying to get different kinds of personal experiences out there in a way that feels more artistically expressive and isn't just
pandering.
Yeah, or just like what we, you know, like it's a rainbow so we know it's pride. I mean, a lot of those images are really cute or really beautiful, but there's just so much more to the experience.
Yes.
You know.
Well, that's the thing. Usually what happens is somebody who has to be in it is the one that has to make it, because they know the experience of it, where other people, their stuff can be great, but they'll never really know what, you know, the other side is like. Just like with African images, most African images are traditional women in the big headdresses and the beautiful colored things of women from Africa. Now, they're beautiful, but that's not the whole African experience or the Black experience, you know?
Yeah. No, and I hear that all the time, especially from Black diamond painters, that they're just like, our options are so limited in terms of what might represent us. And another thing is that I'm hoping, so another thing I've been trying to do is to like recruit other artists that I'm meeting and tell them about diamond painting and get them connected with companies, and including things like that I don't see. You know, like there's a wonderful artist that I connected with on Instagram who he's a Black man, and he focuses on images of Black fatherhood. You know, it's just one of those things, like, even if we do get images of Black people in the diamond painting community, they're almost always women. And, you
Yes.
know, again, it's just like they're rarely children, they're rarely families, they're rarely men. There's just
Hmm.
not,
Yeah.
yeah, like and so trying to find more of those people who have those experiences to express and can bring, you know,
Yeah. I'll even
those
throw
things to the
Stacy in on
community.
this because I remember during the holidays, she had such a hard time trying to find like a Hanukkah type image
Yeah.
Yeah.
besides like, oh, the one menorah that they put out. It's like, well, what else? I mean, that there's more to Hanukkah and more to everything than a single
There's
menorah.
more to the different people's cultures too than
Yeah.
just the diamond painting.
Yeah.
So it's good to be inclusive, and people who artists that are versatile like that really have big opportunities for things.
Yeah.
Tammy says that she's disabled. It's who I am, and I'm not ashamed of it. And it's people like you who make me realize how special I really am, along with anybody
Oh,
with a disability. Sometimes I just feel in the way. And she
Oh,
says, "Thank you so much." She's crying happy tears now for the art. She really likes
that's
that
really
wheelchair one
beautiful,
that you did.
Tammy.
Yeah. So that was
No,
really, really sweet,
also
sweetheart.
the thing, Tammy, I see that you're saying that you are on a strict budget and everything. Like I said, if you have images that you see on my Instagram that speak to you, like, um, I have my policy is pay what you want, pay what you can. Suggested minimum is $5 for an image, but it's not even required. You know, I'd be happy to give you one for free, and then you could take it to whatever budget company you like. I can give you, I mean, I've been trying out different AliExpress companies to try to figure out budget companies I can recommend that have the better quality for the price, you know? So
yes.
yeah, like
Yeah, let me tell you, AliExpress,
Yeah.
you can get a really good size one for like $30, $40.
even
That,
less than that, you know, most of
yes.
mine that I've gotten, um, you know,
Even
20,
25.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like absolutely, like, I mean, you're who I'm making this art for. And I feel the same way about disability. Like you know, my experience with grad school, I was getting my PhD, and the thing with my neurological illness is also that I couldn't read for a long time while I was in grad school. And so I learned how to do everything by audio using screen readers and things like that. Wrote my dissertation and taught classes that way and everything. And that also like got me really drawn into the disability community and the ways that people with disabilities are excluded so much from college life, and trying to make, you know, I worked on, you know, making resources for teachers who were, you know, for professors and grad students who are teaching, like resources on how to be inclusive of people with disabilities. Like what kinds of changes can you make? And you don't need to be
Yeah.
tied to the same old way things have always been
Yeah.
done. And I just like, yeah, I just think, and yeah, and I was also, um, until I married my wife, I was on disability for years and had to fight for years to get disability and went through all that whole process and everything. So, um, I mean, absolutely anybody out there, like, um, if your financial situation is keeping you from uh picking out any of my art that speaks to you, just get in touch with me. And when I say pay what you can, pay what you want, I really mean it. And
That's
um
yeah.
yeah.
That that's a lot to a lot of people when someone can reach out and do something like
Yes.
that. It can really do a big difference to somebody when they find a piece of art that really hits them hard and
Hmm.
helps to express how they're feeling as well. So, and it's not just the physical challenges, it's also the mental challenges too that I think, or
Well, and it's
the hidden
yeah.
challenges that people have to go through that don't look like they have anything going on, you
There's
know?
so many of us in the community who are dealing with chronic illness, chronic pain, mental health issues, things like that. And a lot of those things also put you in a not great financial position. And we all
Yeah.
know this is an expensive hobby, you know? And so, as therapeutic as it is for all of us, like an expensive hobby, you know? And so, um, yeah, anything that I can do to
Yeah.
try to make art available to people, I want to do.
Well, thank you, and thank you for everything that you've said tonight, and about the AI, and about with the group and everything. So thank you for being open to people, and being part of the community. I think it's really nice when we can see artists who are not only artists but also diamond paint with us and are approachable, very approachable. So appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, Tammy, I mean, you don't have to pay me anything, and I can either suggest a company, um, a budget-friendly company, or I'd even be happy to send you an AliExpress canvas of one of my pieces if it speaks to you. I'd be happy to do that. Um, yeah, I totally get what you mean, Tammy. Like, that's the other thing. Losing my career and my place in society with disability was so devastating to me, and feeling invisible was a huge part of that. And actually finding access to the art, the fact that my health is enough better that I can be doing this is huge, but it means a lot. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that visibility just really, really matters. And yeah.
And I do want to touch bases. Amber, I know I don't want to put anything out there, but I was working with Rose yesterday, and I was coming up, and even with Hannah, whoever wants to hear, um, I I have been having like personal challenges with my daughter, and so my mental thing is not a physical ailment. It's stress, and it's parenting, and it's adulting, and it gets very overwhelming. So I was working with Rose last night, and we were just coming up with different ideas of diamond paintings and whatnot. And not that anything's been put out there yet, but mental health was like a
Mhm.
huge thing, and not just the stuff that she's already created, but we got into like the emotion, the expression
Mhm.
of the emotion, the anger, the hatred, the
Yeah.
yelling, the screaming, the fighting, the arguing. So we went to the darker side, but in more appropriate way, to get that utter sheer exhaustion fight that people go through that are not able to control stuff. So I'm hoping that some of that does make its way for the mental health into a diamond painting, because they're just such strong images. So hopefully we'll see them. But I did want to share that I've been talking to her about doing stuff like that, because to me emotionally, she's been putting out there. I don't know if you guys on Rose Profit, Home of Rose Profit Creations, she does put art out that she's working on. She's been doing a lot of emotional parental hugs, and hugging
Yeah.
friends, and having someone there that you can just wrap your arms around and hug. That this is a different side of it too. And check her out as well. I wish she was here today, but
Well, I
unfortunately she
wanted to
couldn't
show
be here.
like some of like this is one of mine that
Ooh.
I made recently. I called this one Some Days Are Like This. And it was just, yeah, I was just trying to get that feeling of those days, you know. Um
Yeah.
I have a few that I'm still working on editing that are in that similar kind of um theme. So that are just like what it's like for me to be in that place,
Yeah.
I guess. So, um, like I'm still editing this one, but this is
Oh wow.
me doing art on my iPad when I'm feeling
That's
when I'm feeling the things, you know.
Yeah.
I like that. That's really so nice.
Yeah. So
It's
like
just in the moment.
And if you think about it too, so many people when they're going through things, they, like you said, they'll draw or they'll just scream or they'll exercise. They'll do a lot of different things, and one of them is obviously, so the fact that diamond painting, you can do it when you're going through things, but also of your emotions, like you write down, they tell you to write your emotions down and like set on fire, all that kind of stuff, you know. So this is actually another good way to bring that in, is that, well, a lot of the images might not be like pretty, it's a story about yourself,
Yeah.
you know, and it I can see where it can help you in certain times, you know.
Yeah, sometimes you want escapism, you
Yes,
know, and
Yeah.
sometimes you want to just be seen in those feelings and moments that you're
yes,
having.
yes, and through the paintings, that's what I was trying to say badly, you know, like you said, and Tammy was saying, you feel seen if you're doing something that you can relate to, you know.
Yeah. Oh, and Amber is also talking about, you know, her experience with having a stroke and stuff like that. I mean, the other thing about diamond painting that I think, I mean, I know a lot of us really focus on like getting them done and
Yeah.
getting through those sections and everything, but there have been a lot of times for me where I'm dizzy and I maybe can only put down 50 drills that day, you know? But it's okay because you can uncover a small section, put down 50 drills and stop, you know? Like it doesn't, you can pick it up and put it down so easily. And so I think like for the days, especially when you're feeling whatever challenges you're feeling, like you can do it in small bits. You can do it in giant binges, you
Yeah.
know. It has that flexibility.
You can just do it to escape as well. So. I did want to stop interview real quick because it is 9 o'clock already, and if
Yeah.
you guys are okay going over, that's fine. I don't know about Hannah's time. With Brandy leaving, unfortunately, we don't have the spreadsheet to do the giveaway, and I'm so sorry to you guys because I did want to do that at the end. So we'll put up a quick little pop up live of the winner, as well as the video of who it is, you know, doing the number
Yeah,
generator, whatever it is. So we'll get that up this weekend. I do want to hope and pray that everything's going okay with
Yeah.
Brandy. I'm glad that she came in for as much as she could, but and I want to thank everyone here also for sticking around. Um, Cindy Michelle says it's the whole process that's therapeutic, not a race. And
yes,
yeah, so this has been so great. I don't know if you guys want to
Oh,
stick around
Rose.
or if you need to go.
yeah.
Rose
I don't
popped
have to
in.
go, so
Do you need
I'm
to go?
totally, I'm available. Yeah, I'm
Okay, all
available.
right. And
And
Rose
Rose
popped in.
has just shown
Hi,
up.
sweetheart.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know.
Tammy. Yeah. So Tammy, just DM me on Instagram. It's at Iterations Crafts. So, you know,
right.
At Iterations Crafts. Here,
yeah. Like
let me get your link up because I think she's looking for the actual
the
link.
link. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, Tammy, the not getting out anymore. So, um, even I mean, I went through years where walking across my apartment felt kind of impossible every day. And I was just really like getting to the kitchen, gosh, it was just so hard. And I'm doing better than that now, thankfully. I'm really glad, but I still like still too dizzy to, you know, walk around the block most of the
Aw.
time or things like that, you know. So I definitely I feel you. It's a accepting that kind of figuring out how to build a meaningful and joyful life in circumstances you never imagined for yourself is it's an amazing thing and an incredibly difficult thing, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely get that.
Hold on, I'm gonna get one more link on here.
So Stacy's
The,
All
linking her.
right, sorry, I had to do business.
I was gonna say, did you have any other questions about like process or things like that? I know we got into the like the emotional side, which is always
Yeah.
good, you know,
Yeah.
but
I think it was important to touch on that because a lot of
Yes,
people are
hundred
going through
yeah.
percent.
stuff. But yes, definitely, because I do see Rose's side. Her process is unbelievable. But like how you organize everything that you come up with. Like I'm sure things are going in your mind. Like how do you I don't understand how you guys sit and organize and pinpoint what it is that you want.
So I started out with a notebook where I wrote down topics and ideas, and I do have like notebooks full of. So like one of the things, like I'm a very verbal person, as you can tell. I went to grad school and just read books and talked about them for years and years and years. So I, you know, I have a notebook where I like write down all of like the kinds of descriptive phrases and things like that that come into my head that I might want to use, or topics or things. Um, but now, more and more often, now that I'm doing so much more post editing work and working with the artwork a whole lot more after I make it, like it's much more, I tend to just jump into Midjourney and make stuff and then have to sort through it, the things that I've created and figure out what I want to do with them. But I'm also just trying a bunch of new processes. So it's like, so I'm experimenting a lot more with doing some kind of digital painting first and then putting that into Midjourney and then using that, because you can use that as like an image prompt along with whatever text you want to use, and it'll incorporate aspects of the image into the results, and then just playing from there and seeing where I can go, because then you can get all kinds of different kinds of textures and styles and stuff like that that it wouldn't have come up with otherwise.
Mm.
One thing that I'm trying out, so I don't know how this is going to go, but something that I just started doing this week is having Midjourney make me coloring book pages that
Ooh.
are like, black and white line art coloring book pages of just all kinds of different topics. And then I'm going to go take those into my Procreate digital painting program so that I can
Oh,
play
yeah.
around with like the paints and the colors and stuff like that and coloring them in different styles, and then feed them back into Midjourney and see what happens,
Yeah.
I don't know, for like it's a lot of like, because for me the other thing is I'm learning the painting skills and the drawing skills along the way, so I also need
Mhm.
help with that. So getting like those line drawings of like um the coloring book pages that then I can work off of and play around with, like that's a kind of help that is really helpful for me at this stage, but
Interesting.
um I also just love a lot of, like, so with programs like Procreate, the digital painting programs, also
Mhm.
Photoshop, you get to buy all these brush packs that different artists have designed that mimic all kinds of different textures and paints and like stuff like that. And I just enjoy
It
throwing them all
enhances a lot.
around.
Like,
And
it can
yeah,
totally enhance a lot of the stuff that you've already created, and then you can add those textures that you don't normally get in regular paintings. So, yeah, it's definitely
yeah, it's
a
just
new way of doing things nowadays.
well, yeah, and it's like, and I'm just experimenting a lot more now with starting there, playing around with the paints and stuff like that, and then giving that as textures and things for Midjourney to then build images out of. So all of the ones that you were seeing that are like my ancient Egypt series, or the things that have that kind of Klimt vibe, or the different portraits that have like the gold and sort of pattern aspects in them, those all started from digital paintings that I did that were playing around with like a brush set that was designed to mimic like Klimt style paints and patterns, so that then I could feed
Christopher,
those.
Chris, like
Love
those.
Clint.
Has
Yeah,
Rose seen any of them yet?
I have no idea.
Ooh!
I don't know. I have to
Should
ask
we
Rose.
should we replay what we came up
That's
with?
true. Rose didn't see the
Oh no. I was a little naughty, Rose. So we have a lot of new people that did join the channel. Should we show it again, what we came up
Yes, for
with?
sure.
Okay. So,
Also, here's the thing though. So this is a Dropbox where I have been dumping ideas of images that I might give to Rose for when we start making art with her company. Rose doesn't have the link to that Dropbox yet,
ooh.
but I gave it to Stacy and Christopher. So Rose has not seen them. She doesn't have access.
I got one on you, Rose.
Uh,
I had to put on my business pants today.
Well, Rose,
But
you haven't seen all of the things that are in this folder for sure.
stock
Yeah.
Hannah's. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys what she sent over. I haven't seen like every single thing out there, but for those of you that came in real quick to wrap up, um, I asked Hannah if we could do a slideshow of her art so we can see some of the stuff, not realizing that some of the stuff hasn't been sent onward and knowing what was going to be happening in March. But Christopher and I went through it. And yes, I did say Christopher because we wanted to pick out things that was going to be tied into the event, but also other stuff as well. And sorry, Rose, but yeah, that happened.
Just say it.
So,
We liked
yeah.
the most.
So these are things that we both came up with that we liked. Now, Rose will have a whole different other idea and opinion, and that's perfectly fine. But you never know, you may see these up when she gets brought on. So, anywho, I'm going to go ahead and present it again. Let me see. Now she's going to come at me. Watch chat. No I'm kidding. But here we go.
Oh, good. Rose had a good appointment, so that's
Oh,
good.
good.
Wait, this wasn't the beginning.
Yes, it was.
Are you sure?
You want me?
I thought it started with the
shell.
Frida Kahlo's garden and the shell.
Yeah, it did. It was.
Oh,
up there.
I missed
Oh.
it.
Looking.
Sorry, I'm distracting everyone.
Yes,
I
the
don't know what I'm doing.
TARDIS. We had to put the TARDIS in. I'm glad your appointment went good. We'll catch up. There's my Snow White. I gotta get my Snow White. That's going in. I don't care. I love all the pop in colors. So she's gonna go in for the next retro event because we will be doing another one.
So some of these aren't edited yet, just so everyone knows. You know, they're not necessarily final, but they're in progress.
The upper left reminds me of Pocahontas a little bit with the braids. And we got the steampunk. And the punk rocking. Tammy says they look final to her. They're amazing. You'll be amazed, Tammy. I would think something was
needed.
Yeah, I think sometimes some things are final, and boy, the way they turn out. All right, let me turn this off.
And let me say, I've seen Hannah's work from the beginning, and I've loved it from the beginning. But the vast improvement from just when she started till now is amazing. The different sort of kinds of art and areas are amazing. Just like Rose, there's so many different areas. It's not just a one type thing. It's evolving, and that's what's so fabulous about this. You know, it's anything you could think of, they could do.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, people have this advice that, like, if you want to become a successful artist commercially, whatever that means, that you need to, like, define your style and have, like, a recognizable style. And I was like, no, I'm having too much fun. Like,
Yeah.
like I just still want to play. I don't want to, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not an artist. I'm not a creative person, but I used to watch Project Runway. If anybody else.
Oh my God, I did too.
Loved it. And I'm somebody who I can't define, like, let me just say, I know what I like when I see it, you know? And so a lot of times they would have the designers, oh, like she said, you have to define it. You have to, I have to see you in it. And I'm like, if I was a creator like that, I couldn't do it because there's so many different styles and things that I personally like that I would want to do. And don't box me into, oh, I can only do like ball gowns or I can only do like streetwear. That's not, no. Why would you want that? You know, you would hope an artist would be, you know, all inclusive and vast. You know, obviously some aren't like that, which is fine. But don't try to stifle somebody who has many different ideas and venues they can go down, you know?
Well, and with the digital art, especially adding AI in, it's so flexible and agile, you know, so like it would take a really long time with more traditional art to learn and study each of these styles and actually like, you know, nail it down. And so it's the very fact that AI is so agile that allows you to explore like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was telling Christopher and Stacy this, but some of those images in there that are new that haven't been on my Instagram yet, I've just been like, uh, oh, yeah, Tammy, that image is coming from a certain company, but you can also get in touch with me individually. Just DM me and I'll tell you about it. But yeah, like, so what I've been doing is, I don't know, I get in really silly moods with the AI sometimes. So sometimes I'll just like only use emojis and just see what it comes up
Oh gosh,
with,
that'd be
or
funny.
like, but the thing I've really been into lately is just putting in things and then adding "but make it fashion" at the end. Like, but make it fashion, not butt naked fashion. Which we
I was thinking there'd be a
understanding
perfect
before.
eggplant emoji for that. See what it comes up with.
But like, I don't know. I mean, it's like some of the best ones. I mean, the other thing is like I have a very weird vocabulary from all of my philosophy and academia days. So I'm throwing in like one of the best prompts, like getting me the coolest stuff has been like metaphysics, but make it fashion, you know? It's like it just comes up with really great stuff that I just want to play with. Um and yeah, there's this none of you care, but there's this book by a philosopher named Hegel, and I don't actually like the book, but the title is The Phenomenology of Spirit. And I have just learned that throwing that into my prompts in Midjourney just gives like really cool effects because it's like, who knows what the phenomenology of spirit
Oh
means?
wow.
Like, there's, I mean, philosophers debate about it forever, but it's just like, I don't know, throwing in those like weird phrases and stuff like that. Yeah, I made another Sartre inspired piece. He has a book called Being and Nothingness, which is just like such an evocative phrase.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
had one that I made a long time ago, but I made a new one recently, which is on my Instagram a couple days ago, and I'm calling it Being and Nothingness 2, More Being, More Nothingness.
Ah,
That's the title.
it's very
And
spaceful sounding.
nothingness. That's too funny. I was going to ask something and I just lost track of what it was. Oh my goodness. It was about images that you create. Do you ever look at what's going on in the community in terms of events and stuff and create things specific for events or anything, or is it just what comes to mind?
I mean, both. Like, it's like, I've been in the diamond painting community for a
Mhm.
long time. I know that doing my own take on Disney characters is gonna get some love. I know
Yeah.
that like, there's those certain things that mermaids are gonna get love, and those are fun too.
Yeah.
But of course, I make dark, creepy mermaids that are encrusted with seashells and like barnacles and stuff. That's my thing. But it's like, yeah. So I don't plan around specific events exactly, but we all kind of know the typical genres that a lot of the events are built around. And so definitely a lot of my dark fantasy stuff is made to fit in really well with fairy tale or Disney inspired events. I have a lot of like different Snow Whites. Stacy, like you like that one. I've got a bunch of different ones, a bunch of different Cinderellas and just I've
My
got
personal one is Sleeping Beauty Aurora by
oh, okay.
Wes.
There we go.
Well, I've got a series of fairy godmothers that I've been working on.
Ooh,
Slightly more creepy fairy godmothers, with some style and flair.
Oh, awesome.
That'll be coming out. So
that's cool.
so yeah, I mean I do, and it was funny because people asked me for holiday images, and the only thing I wanted to make at Christmas time was grumpy cats. Like grumpy Christmas cats. And so that's the only holiday thing I made. I just made grumpy Christmas cats and had a lot of fun with it. So,
There you go.
Honey, people love cats, and if they're grumpy, they'll love them even more.
I mean, that's the thing is like, I guess I'm not exactly, it's like I'm coming, yes, I'm inspired by like those trends or events, but I come at them from angles,
A
you
different
know?
angle. Yeah, the
Yeah.
thing with the Christmas and holiday events is that it's just they're paintings usually just for that time period, and it's like then they get put away or they don't get worked on because there's other stuff going on throughout the year. So I feel that some of the holiday images, particularly for certain time frames, um, are hard to bring out into the regular seasons, you know, because you got
Yeah.
yeah. So
And
that's
who
just
knows, maybe next year I'll be like, I'll have some other, I don't know, maybe I'll be
maybe we'll see a
feeling,
menorah.
yeah, maybe I'll be like feeling super warm and fuzzy and everyone will be cozy around their fireplace or whatever. I don't know. But but for this year it was grumpy cats. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Rose says she's proud of you, of course. I don't know if anyone's going live after me. I think Wednesdays are kind of busy, so I don't want to run into anybody's live. So if you guys know somebody that's going live or that I'm interfering with, please let me know because I don't
They
see
have a
updated on it.
choice to who to visit.
Yes, exactly. All right. Anywho. So what things are you going to be doing in the future? Do you have anything?
So you'll be seeing, I mean, some of it was in that I've definitely got a lot from my But Make It fashion series kind
I'm
of
sorry.
coming out.
I chuckle
I
every
know.
time you
I
say
know. You think I'm saying butt naked fashion. I feel like I need to put this in I'm gonna put this in the text so that everyone can
I don't
see.
care what you say. I'm still gonna hear butt naked.
It's like with whenever anybody would discuss Klimt, it's Klimt, not the other Klimt.
Um yeah, so it's interesting, Christopher, but certain um I do have a flower based like female reproductive
Oh yeah.
inside inner organs. But it was funny to create it because it turns out that like Midjourney will let you use the word uterus, but it will not let you use the words fallopian tubes.
I was
Oh
just
my
gonna say what
god.
fallopian.
Oh. But no, I have not. Oh, well, okay. I can't say, Christopher, that I have not made things that resemble the thing that the word Klimt resembles
Yeah. Oh
because
yes.
I forgot to mention when you were asking about artists, I love Georgia O'Keeffe. She is one of my absolute favorites.
I was
And
just gonna say with little George over here.
if you know Georgia O'Keeffe, then you know that she created a bunch of flowers and landscapes that look like bodies and flowers that look like
Little
female,
Klimts.
yes, female anatomy. And I really enjoy making some of those kinds of things too. So you might, take a closer look at some of the flowers on Instagram.
It's kind
Um,
of like the art. Who is it? The people like a lot of the artists. Oh, look in the painting. See what you can find. The little things they have in there. Well, Hannah has that too, apparently.
I do, yeah. So
It's
yeah,
like, where's
no.
Waldo? How many are there?
Well, I think there's a reason why Georgia O'Keeffe is so beloved by lesbians.
Well, yes, I would imagine so. Mm.
And you can definitely see that in uh some of my flowers and landscapes. Yeah.
That's amazing. I think it's just really it means a lot when there's stuff out there that it can touch on everybody and the different art represent even though it's like representing maybe different artists, you're putting your own style to a lot of stuff. And I think taking a style and making it yours is just like can give you a different perspective of what you're looking at too, which I think is really, really cool.
Everybody is influenced by everybody else, unless you're the original, which that was 1,000 years ago. Everybody has influence, just like music. Music's the same thing. There's how many tunes can you make that until that all sounds the same? You just put a little change on it, and it's different. It's the same thing. Art's the same. Make it your own.
Yeah. It's a yeah, I mean I love being inspired by all kinds of different styles. And, there's things that like, and things that you don't even realize. Like, for example, like people seeing it's Rose. Like I think when I was on Anthony's Siegel and Placing's video, he was saying that some of my newer stuff reminded him of Ian DeJesus, and I was like, I love her, and I had no idea that I was doing that, and that's amazing,
Yeah.
like.
So just to recap for those that have come in, we are running over just because, hey, we're having fun and the talk is great. And now we got Rose on as well. So I just want to let you guys know Brady did have to leave early due to a family medical situation. So we didn't have the spreadsheet available to do the not the grand prize, sorry, the weekly prize. So we'll do a little quick one by the weekend. Give her time to handle what she needs to handle. But we've got Rose on of Rose Profit Creations. And if you guys weren't here for the earlier announcement, we decided for one of the giveaways that we're doing a very special one. Do you guys remember the post that we have of putting your picture that was a retro theme or dressing up as a retro? These two are going to be one of the prizes for that. So Hannah is doing I forget what the term that you use,
A
commission
commission,
piece.
yeah.
Yes, she's going to do a commission piece of whatever you guys want to have done. She's going to give you the license to do whatever you want to do with it. And then Rose is providing a $25 Australian gift card for her roseprofitcreations.com website. It not only has diamond paintings, but it also has regular merchandise such as cups, mugs, notepads, mouse pads, anything you want to put on it. So we're going to tie those two together so you have a place to get your art made into something from Hannah. So thank you, Rose, for doing that, and Hannah as well, and sponsoring ship as well. And with Rose on, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Rose. Rose is, I work with her, but she's a wonderful artist on roseprofitcreations.com. She also has her Facebook group of Home of Rose Profit Creations. If you guys want to join the Facebook group, if you haven't already, definitely do so. Her lives are amazing. She goes live every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, U.S. time from right now 6 to 9. Once daylight savings kicks in, it'll be 7 to 9. And then she's Australian Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Her lives are really good. All different types of topics of, discussion, trivia, mental health, new art, anything.
You name it, we do it.
Exactly. So I'm going to let her introduce you or introduce herself to you guys.
Yeah.
How long she's
I know I was about to throw something. Let the woman speak already.
Yeah.
Take it away, babe.
Well, hi guys. Sorry, it's been a bit of an interesting morning, so I'm still coming down from that. But Rose Profit Creations, do diamond paintings. I've been diamond painting for I think like coming up 8 years now. So it's been a while, and I didn't know about Jack, or I didn't know about fancy pens or fancy wax and putty and cover minders and release papers. I literally spent the first probably 5-6 years diamond painting, not knowing about any of that. So yeah, it's been
in fairness, I don't think any of that stuff really was around about 7-8 years ago.
No, it wasn't. I was pretty basic. The artwork, I mean, Houdini was
now
done
she's got it all though.
Yeah, now I've got it all. Houdini was done really literally with the pink pen and the pink wax, and and canvas, not soft lid. He's on canvas, like normal canvas. So it's kind of like, yeah. But so I'm a multimedia technology artist, which is I think where Hannah's going to be heading very quickly. So I use AI, I use render, I use digital art, I use normal art and scan it. I just do lots of different things, and but a lot of my artwork has a lot more of an AI influence in it now, as well as because I can just tell my computer what I want it to do, walk away and come back, and boom, there it is. almost. But like Hannah, I do a lot of post work.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, it can take anything from a couple of hours to do an art piece to a couple of days, depending on how finicky and fussy we're being. I like to play with words. At the moment, I'm playing with quotes. Actually, there was a song that Squishy put up called Gravity. And I literally took the chorus from that and I created a piece of art from that.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
Ooh.
so that was kind of interesting. I love lyrics and I love poetry and I love stuff like that. So I've been playing a lot more with that, especially with having been sick and stuck in bed. On days I can just do it from my bed and it's nice and easy. And yeah. So if you've got questions, ask, because I have no idea what else to say. But Hannah, I really am proud of you. Like I've watched you come up from like when you first started, and just like it's kind of like you're my baby, and I'm watching you grow, and I'm so proud of you. Like I just get these mummy vibes.
Well, went back to like a live with you where I was like, what is this software that you use? What are you talking about? And then I just was like, had to try it out, and then I just fell in love. So yeah.
It's addictive. It is very, very addictive. I have more art than I know what to do with. Like seriously.
Oh, I know. Trust me. Like
Thousands, like
Hannah, you talk about
thousands.
putting your ideas on paper or on a sketch pad or idea book or something like that. This lady just goes through and just makes images of everything that comes up in her mind.
Oh, I know. I've just got like, no, I mean, I know you're asking this, Stacey, and I've moved past the notebook stage. Now I've just got, just like my iCloud is just full of stuff. It's just full of stuff and I forget about it and I don't know. But then that's also good because then you can just like, you forget about it, but then you go back and look through what you have and see what stands out to you then compared to like what you were really attached to in the moment, And then you're like, oh, wait, this actually, this is cooler than I thought it was, or that one just
do this with it, and like this is why I go through and I make all of this art, and then I don't touch it for like a few weeks or a few months even, and then I go back to it because when I'm going back to it, I look at it fresh eyes and I'm like, oh, now if I just go in there and I paint this over here and I paint this, and like before I know it, I'm like literally upscale the image, I've pulled it down, I've got it, and I'm sitting there and I'm literally finishing this art piece. And like it looks completely different from when I started, but that's it. You look at it with fresh eyes. Hi, Jenny. Excuse me. I had go 12 hours without medication, so my skin's kind of
If you could do a painting of just about anything, what would you guys do?
I've done it.
Yeah, you need to ask the audience that question because the thing is, like every time we think of it, we just start.
We just start doing it.
It's not like an interview where you have to like beg and plead and hopefully get an interview with somebody. With them, it's just like, let me try this, see how it goes.
Okay. Wait. So I'm sure, Stacey and Chris, that you've played this game with Rose, but you haven't played this game with me yet. So I'm turning the question back on you, like Stacey and Christopher. If you could have a diamond painting of anything that you don't have or haven't seen yet, what would you want?
Audience, can you come up with ideas too?
I was gonna say,
that could take a while.
Yeah, that would take a while. There's been stuff that we've been trying to work on.
That's not true. One of the things I want so bad, I have a picture of it. I don't know, fan art or something, what it is. But it's too cloudy, so I can't get it made. But it's from the movie Clue. And it says, I think it says Clue, and it has their characters, and you see the back of their head, and they have like the weapons behind their back.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh, like Knives Out?
It's one of my favorite movies. So I'd want something Clue-like.
Clue-like. Clue. Maritza's here. Hola, mi gente. Sorry, I did take that from her. I love saying that, though.
Okay.
Jenny's working and lurking. Jenny,
Clue would be it would be really fun to do the Clue characters. I'm writing that down because that would be a lot of fun.
I could do them as lilies.
A what?
As the lilies.
Oh my gosh, yes, all the little characters. That would be so funny.
Mm.
I'm in a Wizard of
I'm,
Oz hype because we haven't
I'm
come
into
up
I'm
with
into
that.
big dragons at the moment. Like I'm into dragons at the moment. Like I'm on my whole Randall Spangler spiel. I'm creating dragon art as well, and
Yeah. The
I'm just
little one,
addicted.
the one that you did with your teacup today for your being
Yeah,
ill, that was so cute. I love that one.
Oh, yeah, the
yeah. I did that one when I
dragon.
was. Sorry,
Yeah.
Hannah.
The dragon, I would say, like, yeah, I really loved the dragon you put up.
Yeah, I've got a whole series of those ones.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, I just like I'm really inspired by Randall. Like you know what it's like when you're creative. You get inspired by something you hear, something you see, someone else's artwork, and you sit there and think, oh no, I like that, but I would like to do it this way.
Hmm.
And so you kind of like just go down this rabbit hole, and it just ends up being this massive, massive rabbit hole. And I lose myself. Like I'll be sitting at the bus stop waiting to pick up Kenzie, and I'm on my phone because I have it on my phone. What am I doing? I'm creating.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like nonstop. It,
it really is nonstop.
I asked Hannah this. How do you control all the thoughts and stuff that go through? Like, how do you focus on a specific thing?
I have it like I've learned like so when I start with something, I do it until I've got it to where I want it, and then it's gone. Like it's out of my head, it's on, I've got it, and boom, it's done. But I have so many thoughts going through my head that sometimes it can be hard to sleep
Uh-huh.
because my brain doesn't shut up. So what I've discovered works for me is I listen to an audio book that has got nothing to do with art. The problem with that is I go to sleep really quickly, but I wake up with all these ideas going through my head from the book that I've been listening to while I'm sleeping. So I kind of like I get up and I get Kenzie off to school, and I'm coming here, and I'll sit there and go. I'm at the like waiting for the bus to arrive to pick her up, and I'm sitting there on my phone going, right, I want to do this. That's right, I got this idea, and I'm literally throwing them at the computer so that it can be done. And by the time I get home, they're all done, and I can just go through and go, okay, so I like this one. Okay, this one needs a bit more work, and so it just starts my whole day with like I literally go. The first thing I do in the morning is art. The last thing I do at night is art. But you have to have a shut off point. And there's if I'm going to give anyone, especially those who are coming in to art, a thing, have a cutoff time. So like I know from like around about 8:30, I turn it off, and I'll either watch something with hubby and for an hour. If I diamond paint every night for 2 hours because that's still being creative, but it shuts. I binge watch something, and I will sit here and I'll just place drills. It relaxes me. It clears my mind. And then by the time I go to bed and I put on my book, I'm asleep. Like I literally start a chapter and I've got to go. It takes me a month almost to listen to one chapter because I fall asleep in the first 10 minutes. But I've relaxed, and that's what I need to do. And that's what you need to do. You need to be able to relax and stuff. So it's difficult shutting that brain off because it just
Yeah, I struggle.
Oh,
I struggle with that too, but with like the added thing, which is just with my vertigo, like I have to take, like, no matter the circumstances, I have to take a rest time where I'm in bed with my eyes closed for at least 3 to 4 hours every afternoon. And so, like, and I will make myself dizzy if I keep pulling out my phone and typing more things into Mid-Journey or whatever. And there's definitely times where I just make myself dizzier by doing that, because it's just like the ideas are just so there. But no, I listen to audiobooks constantly because it's like that's my way of coping with the dizziness is closing my eyes listening to an audiobook. And so I love audiobooks. I love it. Like
so
yeah,
I get the dizzy too. So I get dizzy and lightheadedness from what I've got, and it's kind of like vertigo. It's very similar, but not. But I find the same thing. Audiobooks really help me just kind of take away the focus, because the more you focus on it, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So if you are listening to something and you're not focusing on the fact that the world feels like it's spinning around you, you just kind of get through it. Like the other day I had a dizzy spell. I rang Rory and spoke to him because I was driving Kenzie to school, and I just needed to listen to something else and get out of my head. So he just jabbered at me the whole way. it's only a 5-minute drive, but still it was 5-minute drive. And I had my kid in the car, and I knew if I stopped, we would make the bus. But if I got into the bus and then I could just get home, I could then call into bed for the day and just sleep it off, which is what I needed. That was why I was dizzy. I had not enough sleep. So I think that's the key. It's just you find ways to cope, and you just find ways to shut things out. And shutting art out is like telling us not to breathe, really.
Yeah, I think it's also one of those things where I feel like most of the tips out there for new artists can be really ableist, you know?
Yes.
Like the whole thing about how you have to draw every day, or you have to, do X, Y, or Z every day, or this many hours, or whatever. It's like, no, you don't. I mean, people used to say the same thing when it was like came to working on my dissertation or whatever. Oh, you have to write every day, or whatever. It's like, no, you don't. Like there are
No.
tons of different processes, and I mean, like last week I had an extra dizzy week, and so there were just days where the only thing I could do was listen to audiobooks, and it's just like, and it makes me really sad. I feel that loss of like all of the stuff I wanted to work on that just like disappears for those days, but then it's just like then you come back to it, and yeah.
It's okay to have not do something on a day. Like I go days where I literally do not do anything because I just can't be bothered. Like I'm exhausted. I'm physically my body's constantly fighting itself. So there are days when I just go sit and go, you know what? No, and Stacey will tell you, I just literally walk away from everything. I'll just shut everything down because it's what I need to do.
If not,
but then I come back the next day and I'm like, boom, let's go, boom, boom, boom. Like yesterday, we got a lot done yesterday.
You did. I did.
I got
let me see. Hold on. Tammy says I DP for hours at a time. I get so lost in the diamond painting that I forget I'm hurting. DP has truly saved me. Yeah, it definitely. I think it helps a lot of people. Also brings us as a community together too. Felicia says I would love to see a painting and an interpretation of the infinity symbol, daisies, and the quote, "I am what I am, and I'm not ashamed."
Oh, Maritza wants more men, as does everyone. And yeah, I'm providing more queer men.
You could play the thing while we're talking if you want again.
Oh, I'll go ahead and do that.
Well, you'll see. There's only I think one of them in that slideshow, but I've got some men for the lovers of like the English gentleman type romantic figure.
Oh, fancy pants.
Yeah. There are a few of those that ended up in some of what I was showing, but
Maritza, look, do you want to buy any of these? I know you do.
There'll be more later.
See, one of the big things I'm into is emotions. Like I love capturing, especially kids. Like,
oh God,
yeah.
What we worked on yesterday, it really
I sent them through.
Got to me. Oh, you did. Okay, I'll show. But oh my gosh, what you got out of it was awesome, like amazing.
Yeah, you can come in. But that's okay. My cat wants in.
Oh,
I've got Discord not working.
I'm gonna try and figure out how I can do this with you guys. But we had to get the retro stuff in there. Is that supposed to be like a Pocahontas in the upper left with the braids on that one?
Not necessarily. It's I mean, yes, there's feathers and things involved, so it definitely has that like Native American vibe to it and everything. But it's not any particular character.
More literature art pieces. So Hannah, in Homo Roast Profit, we have a link, and anybody else in chat. Hey Lisa, anyone else in chat? Internet, we have a link on Homo Roast Profit Creations, a Facebook group that is like if you have art suggestions. So Hannah, you're more than welcome to check that out too, get
Yeah.
some ideas. But if you guys have ideas or requests for things that you're interested in, definitely post it through there. There's a whole list of different things that people are adding to it, and
We're
that way
going
you
to
guys
have,
can
as
get your
of by
ideas.
the end of March, there'll be 3 of us as part of the Rose Profit Creations team, which I'm very, very, it's going to save me
That's
some
super
time.
exciting.
um, which I'm really pleased about. But yeah, we're a family, and that's what it becomes. We're definitely a unit and a family, and yeah, I protect what's mine, and you guys become part of me. So I protect you, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I can't wait till because I've got Liv in the first 2 weeks, and then you come in on the 20th, and it's like.
It's gonna be really fun. I also love the fact that even though Rose and I have a similar approach in some ways, and some of the tools we use, or just the idea that we like jumping around styles and stuff like that, our stuff is still really different,
Completely different.
like we just bring very different things to it.
Yeah.
By the way, Lisa says she'd love to see more literature art pieces. I agree. That's another one of the things that I would love personally. I am a huge Agatha Christie person, so Poirot and Marple together,
Yes.
please.
I have a Sherlock Holmes sitting in the closet, and I
Oh,
also
wow.
have a Jack. I had 2 Jack the Rippers.
Oh.
Yeah, so I have some dark because I do like my dark art as well. So I've been kind of dabbling a little bit.
No, people should definitely tell me book characters because I have some Wuthering Heights ones that I just made because I was listening to a book that was like a retelling of Wuthering Heights. And so I was just like, I've got to get some people out on the British moors with their dresses flowing and
Oh, yes.
My
yeah.
son, yes.
Yeah, so I've got some of those in the
The
works.
cosplay photographer in me goes, "Oh my god, yes!" The portrait photographer. I just want to, yeah, because that's where all mine started from. I had a run-in with a group of people who took what I gave them for free and then bitched because I had it up for everyone to see on my accounts. But it was I owned the rights to it, and I decided I was done with dealing with humans and for my art, and I literally started doing other art like the render art and stuff, and that's kind of and here we are 5 years later.
Yeah.
Maritza wants Wuthering Heights. Yes, we should message on Instagram. I'll show you what I'm working on. You can help me choose which ones I might send to Rose.
But she also loves Edgar Allan Poe, so.
Oh, I love Edgar Allan Poe, and I'd love to make a great Lenore. I have one that is that I haven't released yet. That's it was more of a dark fantasy princess character, but she's holding a raven, and it was had that
Oh,
thing.
that one from Diamond Art Club.
Yeah.
No, I have one that I made that's not out yet. It's not finished yet, but I also love a lot of ancient Greek characters too, so I want to do more of that. Circe the sorceress is one of my favorite characters. She's the one who turns all the men into animals when they offend her, and so
My kind of girl.
Yeah.
Have you tried to do Medusa yet? I've had so much trouble getting Medusa. I finally got one. I was so stoked. It's taken me literally months to get a Medusa that I can work with, and because I wanted it to look a certain way, and I wanted that Greek look,
Oh yeah, Greek Medusa.
Yeah, and I finally got it, and I was just like, yes.
She's so happy.
Yeah. I literally jumped off my seat, went, oh my god, I got it. Because it was literally taken months. But yes, Medusa is definitely coming.
Yes.
She's not finished yet. But
I would love to do a Medea too. I don't know if any of you know that Greek tragedy. It's an ancient Greek play, but she is just a woman full of wrath and rage, and that's what the whole point of the play is about. And she's a villain, but
hey, villains can be cool,
Oh yeah.
Well, most people love villains more than the
actual
ones, you know?
Yeah, and her husband.
Shakespeare just oh yes. Want to do some
Yeah, like
Shakespeare? Because Shakespeare's got good
yeah.
villains.
Oh yeah, you could do good Shakespeare stuff too, and like, I do have a
Oh
couple.
my God, the witch is brewing in Othello.
Oh,
Ooh.
in
Double
Macbeth.
double toil in Macbeth. Thank you.
Yeah,
Double double toil in whatever
I
how it
have
goes.
some anime versions of that where that's cute, like cute anime witches in their cauldron. But it would be really fun to do something a little bit darker.
Yeah,
And I
Yeah.
have some that are like the ghost of Hamlet's father,
Ooh,
that I did.
that's it.
But Hamlet was one of my favorite plays to teach when I was teaching college.
That's the one.
But,
Yeah.
oh, I
Um,
also have a few different since I'm a philosophy person, I have a few different vampire Socrates ones. So it's the philosopher Socrates, but as a vampire.
that's funny.
I just
Um,
sent you Medusa, Stacey, so you can share it if you want to.
okay, so
Ooh, I want to see.
Greek mythology. Talking about Greek mythology,
I was going to mention
Christopher
this.
and I are going to be doing a Greek god event. Well, Greek mythology event in 2024.
And
So
I
Ooh.
was just saying to Stacey earlier today, there's not much art or dime painting stuff really that will revolve around that I know of. So now we're talking about it here. How I
yeah. Greek
Thanks.
mythology, Greek characters, the Greek name,
This book,
god or
this
goddesses in the
is
painting. Yes, I love
this.
mythology. I don't remember like a lot of the stories, but I love mythology. So,
As you can see, like this is from back in my study days because I planned on doing Leader on the Swan, and I do plan to still
Ooh.
do that. But I have like art pieces booked in here that I actually want to recreate some of the
Yeah.
classics, and just yeah, I mean, there's so many stories behind them, and just this book is beautiful. It has some beautiful, beautiful art pieces in it. Like
Oh,
yeah.
that's
it's so,
amazing.
it's got that old smell. I've had it for years.
So,
I have some Persephones that are out, but I haven't. I want to dive into some other. Yeah, I want to do more of Persephone in the underworld too, because
Yeah.
it's like, that seems
yes.
fun. But I also want to do more ancient Egyptian gods because
Yes.
there's some
Yeah.
super cool ones, Like I need a really good Sekhmet, I think. I've got some Bastets, but I need a really good Sekhmet. And
See, I'm Isis and Osiris because that was who I used to worship before I became a Celtic pagan. I was Egyptian pagan, so
oh,
I very much so. It's going to be interesting to see what you and I both come up. We'll have to have an Egyptian month where that's all we
We
focus on and see what we come
I
up with.
think there's an
Christopher and
event.
Angie are having an Egyptian
Yes.
event later this year. I think in November or something, or September, or
There you go.
around then.
well, I've been
Walk
having a ton
like
of
an
fun with the
Egyptian.
I've been having a ton of stuff. So, like, my series was originally inspired by Akhenaten, one of the particular pharaohs that I've always been fascinated by. So I've mostly been doing Akhenaten and Nefertiti. Nefertiti was his wife. And that has been really fun.
I went to Egypt.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Really? Oh
Mhm.
gosh.
Yeah.
I
What would
don't
be
know if
cool
any of
is
the
the
rest of you.
hieroglyphics in the hieroglyphics would be really cool too.
I just want to throw some rocks at you. That is my dream. My number one dream. Egypt.
Egypt,
Oh,
I
I'd
would
go
love
beautiful.
that.
again. I would definitely go again with you, but I would wait till Jackie's a little bit older so she can learn about Egypt and then we can go. But I would definitely go with you.
I
Did
studied
any of
Egypt.
you?
Loved it. Wanted to be an archaeologist. That's where I was heading.
I was
Would
just
have
wondering
loved
if any of you read. Did any of you read the Amelia Peabody mystery series?
Mm.
That's what got me super fascinated in Egypt. So it's by Elizabeth Peters, who it's actually her pen name, but she was actually an Egyptologist. She got her PhD in Egyptology before she started writing mystery novels. But it's about this character who's a Victorian woman who goes to Egypt and then gets obsessed with archaeology. And then there's just like they go to, but it's like all of the Egyptology stuff and the archaeology stuff is like really well informed because the author actually,
no
you
respect.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, I wrote a textbook about it and everything, but it's all like it's very Victorian British and tongue in cheek, and they're like, another year, another dead body is like one of the phrases. Just 'cause it's one of those, it's that classic like, Miss Marple type situation or Angela Lansbury where you're just like, how do you just always find a murder? Well, we don't ask questions.
It just happens,
Yeah.
Like one of the like and I think it's like third and fourth form. So it's like the first 2 years of high school. And I was in one school, and then we transferred to a different, like we moved to a country town. So I had different subjects, but I couldn't carry on with what I was doing. But I had already started the path to being an archaeologist. I was studying history and Egyptian history. Like I was like a sponge. I couldn't get enough of it. I was at the library. I took out encyclopedias. I took out books on ancient Egypt. I became so enthralled in it. And then when we moved to the new town, and I discovered that they didn't teach history, so that was me done. I got stuck in things like home ec, clothing, and what was the other one? Typing. Those were my 3 electives that I was allowed to take. So I was screwed. I couldn't take any of the subjects. I was planning on doing human biology, photography, ancient history. Those were like, I had it all planned out. And then when we moved, I lost a whole lot, and it took me down a whole different pathway. Otherwise, I could have been an archaeologist and not even sitting here by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have.
Okay, well, Rose. Oh, sorry, Stacey. Just one more thing, Rose. I have a recommendation for you and any other ancient Egypt lovers out there, which is that. So I don't know if any of you have ever listened to the Great Courses by the Teaching Company, but it's like audio series on just like all kinds of topics. They have tons of history ones or whatever, but you can get them through Audible now for like way cheaper. Just spend like an Audible credit or something. But one of my favorite courses, it's called The History of Ancient Egypt. And it's by this guy named Bob Breyer, who's from Long Island and talks his way through the entire history of ancient Egypt in his Long Island accent. And he is just full of joy. And he's this random person who he was actually a professor of philosophy, and he got hired at his university to teach philosophy. And then once he got tenure, he's just like, nope, I'm doing Egyptology now. And then he like goes on National Geographic specials and unwraps mummies and stuff like that.
What
And
was
like
his
name is Bob. His name is Bob Breyer.
Oh, yeah.
But what you want to look for is Great Courses. And the cheapest way to get it by far is from Audible.
What a shame. I'll have to listen to it when I go to sleep.
But they're just so fun. Like he talks about like, my man Sneferu, who was like the one who built the first triangle shaped pyramids really early on, and like she's like my man Sneferu, and like I don't know, he's just delightful.
If you start seeing a whole bulk of Egyptian art coming out, you'll know what I'm listening to at night.
yeah, you'll just suddenly be like, time for Ramses the Great, yes, or whatever. But
I'm looking for it now because I've actually got I've got a credit sitting there waiting to be used. What a shame.
Oh, jeez. So, well, we have a little break. Are you guys interested? Oh, go ahead.
No,
she just found it.
Oh, okay.
I've just found it.
We saw some of Hannah's art, and we were talking about mental health earlier, and I said that I was working with Rose yesterday on some pieces that she was creating. I was kind of giving her some ideas of different mental health things that we don't normally see in the community. So she did come up with some stuff, and I've got them to show you.
Ooh.
And if you guys join her on her live, she shows art there too. So you may want to.
Can I just answer Lisa's question quickly? Lisa, you can find that book on Amazon, just for the record.
On Amazon. So let me see if I can do this properly. I'm going to try and share my screen. Hold on, let me see where it's at though. Give me just a second. You guys can talk until I can find it. Because I lost.
I have anything left to say.
Okay, there we go. All right, hold on. I think I found it. Share screen.
I'll just keep an eye on the time. I'm going to get Kenzie in an hour.
All right, I'm gonna try it this way.
It's been a day today, so I'm just a little bit frizzled.
Okay,
Here
is
we
it
go.
showing? Is it showing it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
so these I can't see myself, but these were images that my daughter goes through periods where she gets super, super frustrated and super, super angry at just about everything. And it's very hard for her to handle her emotions. So I really wanted to try and get Rose to capture something like that. And these are some of the images that she came up with that really captured a lot of it. But it can also go to all of those ailments and handicaps and mental health stuff that everyone goes through that people just don't understand. And I thought this was a really good way of expressing it and providing it out there. And it just, I don't know. I just got really emotional. I wanted to share it with you guys. I got really emotional when I saw what she had come up with because it's a spitting image of what I see in my daughter's eyes a lot of the time. And I'm sure what you guys see in each other's eyes, or family
Oh,
sees.
Kenzie, definitely.
Yeah.
Or I
Yeah.
even think about like I feel like that one in the top left corner is like what's happening inside me a lot of the time, you know? Like the little kid self inside me is definitely feeling that way sometimes.
When
Yeah.
you have a health condition that impacts your life, and it affects you in such a way that you become that your inner child does come out with it because you want the comfort, you want it fixed, you want someone, we always, when we were little, we had the parent who would fix it. Well, some of us did. But like, that's what we look for when we're really sick. We just want someone to fix it. And so our inner child screams just like this: the frustration, the anger,
Yeah.
the fear, all of it is there. So what you're saying, yeah, all of these we can relate to. I think what makes them hard packing is the fact that I used a little girl's face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just the start, but as soon as I saw it, it's just like I kind of broke down, and I was just like, it ended up being a very emotional, like emotionally draining night, just because of what we were talking about. So I really
Yeah.
wanted to say thank you for doing that because
Yeah.
it definitely means
You
a lot.
got to show the nice one that I sent you. Like
Yep.
after this, because like whenever I do images like that, I
Yeah.
then do an about face, because otherwise I walk away feeling the hurt and the anger that I've had to put into you Hannah will know, you have to put a lot of words in there that trigger you. And if you've had a hard childhood, it can be very, very triggering. So when I walk away from that, I always try to walk away having done something light. And this was like the polar opposite:
Yeah.
the fun, the happy, the joy of being a kid.
The laughter, the happiness.
Yeah.
Yep. Like once it's all done, this is like Jackie goes through this too. It's like she could have the minute in like 5-10 minutes, and then all of a sudden it'll stop. And then
Yeah.
she would be in like a tickle fight and she'll just be laughing and giggling and it's just a release and it's wonderful to see.
One of the projects I'm working on right now is the emotions of kids, like, because they're so raw and they're so innocent and so beautiful. And I'm trying to capture those moments. And I've caught quite a few of them, but these are some that will be added to that, because it's not just the, I've done some pieces on sexual abuse in children and the mental health of the LGBTQ community and stuff. And it's been very, very hard hitting for me because I have friends and I have family who are connected to both of them. So this is me kind of like I use these as my healing pieces to walk. Once I've finished those art pieces, then I can walk away and have something light at the end of it. But these are all going to be released at a later date. So yeah.
Yeah. And then you guys want to see Medusa? Do they
Oh
want to see
yeah, yeah.
Medusa?
I was like, yes.
Medusa?
I'm also wondering, Rose, like it's interesting, like I felt certainly like I felt a lot of resistance in myself somehow to like putting images out there that portrayed darker mental states and darker emotions, partly because I just felt like people don't want to see that or something, but I don't think that's true, right? Like
No, it's not.
people
So
people need that.
when I did the gorilla series, I learned really quickly because I did some hard hitting images with them. The people aren't as afraid and they were exhibited, like the actual art pieces were exhibited in a gallery, like in my school gallery, and the public came in and saw them. And I got lots of feedback about people about how they were really impressed. They had the guts to do stuff like, you know, the hard hitting stuff. And I've learned, you know, people need to see it. It needs to be real. And people, whether they diamond paint it or not, whether it's just out there as an image, doesn't matter. It is, a lot of us have gone through hurt. So Tammy, in answer to your question, my inspiration for the sad stuff is my own story.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. And watching my children go through stuff, and especially Kenzie, who's autistic, you know, watching her moods and her stuff, and the fact that she has to be on a medication to keep her stable, and because she can't balance out her emotions and stuff. But going through my own mental anguish, and, you know, it's just, and talking to people. I talk to people. You guys know this, like those that know me personally, and these three definitely do. I'm always there, and I listen to people's stories, and I offer support, and I offer comfort, and I offer friendship and love. But I take all those stories and I take all those emotions, especially because I'm an empath and I can feel them. And then to get them out, I do them in an art piece, because it just makes it,
Yeah. And then there's
I love that.
Yeah, that's
so she's not finished yet. I have to go and do some painting over top of her and stuff, like with her and that. But she's definitely, I just fell in love with it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's the one I've been wanting.
Yes. And I can see what you mean by having her actually look Greek inspired instead of, you know,
Because one of them, they do this beautiful model. And I mean, she is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but they do the whole, like, you know, I wanted the dark. Medusa was dark. Like she was, the whole story is dark.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted. I mean, I'm going to lighten this a lot, and I'm going to do a lot of, put a lot more color back into it. But for me, I look at this and I think, okay, this is the start. And then in my head, I can see the finished project already, like the gold blinging. And because anyone who knows me knows I have the, I like bright colors. I love bright colors. Most of my art ends up being bright colors because it's cheerful, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Okay.
Now I'm back. Thank you for sharing all of that with us for both.
Hannah, if I can give you one bit of advice, is if, like, I introduced AI into my journey as part of a healing process for stuff I was going through with a different situation. And it became quite healing, and I used a lot of those art pieces to heal.
Yeah.
So if you can share those and people can appreciate them, then you should.
Yeah.
And stop worrying about what the hate. You're always going to have haters, always. But focus, just do you.
Yeah.
Just do you.
Yeah, I mean, so far when I've put out the ones that I have considered, working with a lot of watercolor images of different kinds of sadness or pain or things like that. The ones that I've put out a couple so far on Instagram, and like it immediately attracts at least one person in the comments saying like that's how I feel, you know. And then I'm like, okay, I want to be doing more of that.
Yeah.
I think with images like these, it being dark or kind of just like in your face on those emotions that people go through.
Oh yeah, I like to
I think
people.
I think a lot of people try and suppress it because they don't want to talk about it. And this is a way, like, even if you don't do this to have on your wall as a diamond painting, I think these type of images are a really good healing. And for people to just sit there and reflect on stuff, and it's a good healing process.
One thing I learned today was that my mental health has triggered my autoimmune disorder, which is what I've been diagnosed with officially today. And it started off with my mental health and has been triggered, and it's like adding straws to the bale of hay. And then I had this one little catalyst that just happened to be the final straw that broke the camel's back, and boom, there we go. So we need to, it's made me realize that as a person, I need to talk, whether I express it through art or whether I'm talking to people, I need to not, we need to stop bottling it up, and we need to bring it out to the open, and people need to be aware that we have feelings, especially those of us who are in the public eye. We are human. We go through stuff, and we, when you target someone or you bully someone or you sit there and you say, oh, I mean, Hannah, I know what you went through when the whole AI thing erupted up in the circuits. And, it's people who are afraid and who don't understand the process and think you're stealing someone else's art. And it's really not, because it's nothing like anything that anyone else has brought out. So,
I mean, unless you're trying to, in which case you're trying to. So, like,
the big discussion earlier about that.
we had this. We did talk a lot about that and the responsibilities that people have.
I went to art school, and I have a diploma. I spent 5 years studying art, and to be honest, I learned how to paint like Josephine Wall. I learned how to paint like Jim Warren. I learned how to paint like Shim Schimmel. I also learned how to paint like Rembrandt and Van Gogh, and and they all affect my style of art. And like Boris Vallejo and Louis Royer, I grew up in a very dark fantasy art world. So that all inspires me and all is part of my style, all sort of role. You can't help it, because what you learn and what you're is around you in art is the style that you're naturally going to be drawn to. And it's eclectic. It's a mix of many artists, but they're also a mix too. Van Gogh is a mix of somebody else, and people need to, this is how you learn at school. You learn someone else's techniques and you learn somebody else's style, so that you can then make your own style. And regardless of the medium, as long as it's your style, that's what counts.
Yeah.
And Hannah, you have a very, very distinctive style. And all your art pieces, no matter how eclectic your genres are, you are still I can tell your art by looking at it, because it's your style. And just like people can tell it, like from mine, they can tell mine. They see bright color, they go, oh, the first thing they see, oh, is that a rose? Is that roses? They automatically, if it's got a hint of fantasy and a bright color, they're like, oh, and it's the same with yours. I look at a lot of your artwork and I see a lot of classical art style in your style. But that's you. That's who you are as a person. And that is not something to hide from. And that is not something to have someone try and take that from you. Because you know me, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to fight for you, girl. Like, that. And you have a right to be the artist who you're going to be, regardless of the medium that you use. Just be you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's always good to hear. I mean, because this is one of the things that I think makes me, at the end of the day, one of the things I keep coming back to with AI art is, I spend a lot of time in like a AI art community Discord and with other friends who do AI art, and we can tell each other's stuff, so that shows that we, like you said, you can see, like, oh, like you see it and you're like, oh, I bet I know who that came from, because we're using the same tools, but we're expressing different things, we're bringing different things to it. And
we use similar programming, you and I
both
do. And ours is completely different styles of art.
Yeah.
So so I've just got
even though we have similar interests, what's funny is that we have like similar interests as well, and we still end up with very different styles. Yeah.
Because we're two different people and we've been inspired by different artists, and that's what it comes down to. I, like I said, I grew up with Boris Vallejo and, Louis Royer and, Michael Whelan, so Dragons, and it needs to be unique, and it is yours. And my advice is don't let anyone belittle it. I think you're amazing. I think I've watched you grow into this amazing artist. And when I say I'm proud of you, I really am proud. It's like a mother's pride, because I remember when you came to me and we talked and you were just starting out, and I look at you now and I'm like, oh, she's grown up now.
Well, and I'm loving it. That's the thing. I'm loving it.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Love
no,
what
I'm
you
lucky.
do.
I have not been hit nearly as hard by personal comments as some of my other friends who are AI artists in the diamond painting community. I I really haven't. I've felt
I
a
haven't
lot
at
of
all.
distress.
I'm too scared.
What?
I said I haven't at all. I think they're too scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, it's interesting. I don't know why they're going after particular people so much harder than others, you know? And it's really, I felt deep distress by what I've seen
Yeah.
people say about my friends, and then how it also could apply to me, I guess, in that sense, you know, because I also do that. But it's just like, man, some people have had just much harder luck trying to
Yeah.
bring their AI art into the diamond painting community, and I have been very lucky. I very rarely get any kind of like negative comments on my social media. And so far, the companies that I've worked with are, you know, have had my
Yeah.
back. So it's
Would you
like,
rather have a true fan? Would you, like, because we talk in fans, like when you're an artist, you have fans, I have fans, you have fans. Would you rather have a true fan who loves your work for what it is, or would you rather have a fake one who is like, oh, you're the flavor of the month right now, so I'm going to love you, but then when it, you know, we get this is part of this community, sadly, but it's part of the art community as well. You know, we get that, oh, well, you're the it girl this month, so
Yeah.
I'm going to love you and I'm going to sing your praises. But then next week it's somebody else on a different medium, and like this person might be anti-AI, and so they're all dissing, and because they, you know, and suddenly you're the black sheep
Yeah.
again, you know, and it happens. And I've learned very quickly, you know what? If you don't like my art, it's really simple. Don't look at it, don't buy it, don't care.
100%.
oh, Anita said she just bought my Dark Angel. I love that one. I have it too. I don't know when I'm gonna get started on it, but I have it. I bought it too because I just, yeah, that's one of my favorites. I'm a
Yeah.
little nervous. I'll say, you know, to this small group that is here of trusted people, I'm a little nervous because a company that is more known and respected by YouTubers is going to be launching me soon. And it's a company that sends out PR canvases and things like that to some of the bigger YouTubers. And I'm just a little bit nervous because I don't know if that's then if that will attract the AI Karens, which is what I call them,
Oh, probably.
who are
You
like,
just
oh,
okay, you just click block and you move on.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
seriously, that's all. I have had the odd one or two who have messaged me and go, blah, 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 and I've gone, and I'm at it, and I care why is my kind of attitude. Like, and I just sit and go, I don't even engage them. I don't even argue with them. I just go block. Like, if you know me well enough. I don't lie. I don't steal. It's just that simple. So, you know, just yeah, you're gonna get it. It's gonna be
yeah,
inevitable that you're gonna get it eventually. We all do. You just learn to roll with the punches and just go, you're entitled to your opinion, thank you, bye see ya, block, move on.
also, like,
And
it cracks me
I
up a
know
little bit. There's one particular Facebook group that for some reason has attracted a couple of like
Karens.
AI Karens who like to, you know, jump on anyone who like posts something and then they're like, did you know that that person does AI or whatever? But it's hilarious because then they like show a screenshot of my Instagram and I'm like, thanks for the advertising. Like,
But I had someone say to me, "Oh, I don't know if you should publicly announce that you do AI." And I'm like, you know what? I've never ever hidden the fact that I was a technology artist. I just at the beginning, I didn't jump out and go, I do AI, I do render, I do this. My computer does the work for me because I work smarter, not freaking harder. And you know, and I had people say to me, "Oh, it's not your art, it's stolen art." And I'm like, do a reverse search. Grab one of my images, do a reverse image search, and tell me where I've stolen it from. Or actually tell me better, which can you tell which one I've hand painted and which one I've done through AI, or which the renders are a little bit more obvious, but not so much these days because I kind of mix everything. But if you can tell where I've done this, what I've done where on an art piece, then we'll talk. Because you can't, because most of mine is a blend of render, digital, and AI. It always has been. And people are I've just got better at it. That's the only difference between now and then, is I've got better at what I was doing, because I was spending 10 hours a day trying to learn a new techniques to make my art better. It wasn't about making it better for anyone else. It was about making it better for me. And I didn't launch it for months and months. I think I was working on it for like 6-7 months before I actually came out with the first art piece. And people were like, "Oh my God, what a turnaround!" But that was stuff I'd done 7 months ago.
Yeah.
So, and people have been buying my art for a good couple of years now, and have never once was I questioned, like the way that you guys have been, about how I did my. I don't know if it's because I'm the older generation, I don't think I'm scary, but I think I'd probably put them in their place a little bit quicker.
Yeah, that's probably part of it. I mean, I'm trying the the sort of I'll just get out there and talk about what I'm doing, and just, that's my thing, it's just because the other thing is it's hard from behind the scenes. I see diamond painting companies who are putting out art that because I work so much with Midjourney as one particular software, I can see its tells in other people's art. And I know that artist has not said that they use that as part of their process, and I don't blame them because of the pushback, but it's one of those things where it's just kind of what I feel like some people are asking for. I joke about it, that they're asking for an AI-free organic sticker that can be put on certain artwork, and I just also the thing is that that's going to make less and less. It already doesn't make a lot of sense. It's going to make less and less sense as time goes on, because people are using these tools in so many different ways. Photoshop is incorporating more and more AI features that are based on a database that it has collected of all of the art and images made by their users, and their users didn't even know they were contributing to that database. But people aren't going to stop using Photoshop, and so it's one of those things where it's you're just not asking, in companies taking a position of I know they get pressured into it by some of their artists sometimes too, but the taking a no AI art stance, I'm that's only gonna work for 6 months more at the most before it's just.
If you're an AI artist and you want to be in diamond paintings, you come see me.
Yeah, there's that too. But I just also think in terms of just digital artists, so much some of our diamond paintings come from artists who work in traditional paint media, but a lot of it comes from digital artists, and it's just going to be less and less possible over the next months to be able to sort out which of that digital art is somehow AI involved and what isn't,
Let's take it a step further back, photography. And I'm a qualified photographer, portrait photographer. There came a point in time when you could no longer tell the difference between a digital camera taken image and a film camera taken image. You couldn't tell. AI has been used in movies and stuff for years, but it goes back to people did a massive stink when, and I was one of them. I'm horrible to admit, I was a film photographer, legit. I refused to touch a digital camera. It was cheating. It was this. It was that. And I was that person. And I'm the first to admit that. The day someone threw one in my hand and said to me, "Do not judge it till you've tried it." And they threw one in my hand and went, "Now go play." And I played and I played and I played and I played. And then I went into Photoshop and I edited and I tweaked and it was just I was sold. I was sold. And I was I had to eat my words, very humbly eat my words. But it's the same thing. Robots, it's not a robot taking over the world, people. Get out of here.
Despite how completely it just cracks me up, because so Microsoft released to a limited number of people their AI chat influenced Bing thing, and they did not do a good job of programming it first, and so it just started going on all these unhinged rants on people. and I mean, and it doesn't. It's not sentient. It doesn't actually, you know.
It's not thinking. It's not thinking.
It's not thinking. It's just a matter of like
Like a message database. It's all it is.
It's all the database, but it had clearly like definitely been exposed to a lot of like sci-fi novels and movies about like AIs wanting to take over the world and stuff like that.
House, a lot of house out there.
Yeah, it's just hilarious. Yeah, so that cracks me up. Because now there are people who are like, I'm terrified of this. Like it said that it wants to build a bioterrorism weapon, and I'm like, that's because it's like it drew that from some fiction. It doesn't. It's not a thing. It's very funny. But
a human beings actually put those words into it and said, "Do this." Like.
Or it's just like these things were trained on Reddit too, and I'm just like, man, if I spent a lot of time reading Reddit conversations, like it is no surprise that it's getting feisty with people and being like, I think you're gaslighting me, and you need to like, like it's very funny. But no, I think
AI learn from behavior, like they learn from
behavior. Exactly.
Like, so like when I start off on a like I've tried 3 different AI ones now, and the first one I did got to a point where it knew my art style, boom, 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 and then it just kind of changed it on me, and I was like, this is not my art style anymore. So that one got swept, and I went to another one and got that trained up in how I like to have my art looking, and then it stopped doing it, so I swiped that one, and now I'm on Midjourney with you, and it's like and so
Midjourney's coming out with a new version in a few weeks, that will do really different things too, and so you just kind of gotta roll with it.
Yeah. But like once it picks up that, like if I put in, because the only artist name, and not very often do I actually use an artist name, because it knows as soon as I start typing, it's like it knows me, it knows my style, and I love it. And like people, it's like doesn't know, and it just knows by the way I do my algorithms. I think it learns like to a point where it will go, I have a certain algorithm that I use all the time. And it's the first part of it goes in every single image. And I think as soon as I put it in, the AI goes, oh yeah, I know who this is. And I know what I'm looking for. Because every time I get exactly what I'm wanting. I mean, sometimes it can take 5 or 6 attempts, don't get me wrong. But it's like, oh yeah, that's that person, oh gosh, she's going to keep me on here if I don't give her what I do. This is kind of what goes in my head, Like I sit there and think it just thinks I nag at it because I just keep going, no, it's not what I wanted. Do it again. So it just now because it's me straight away.
No, I definitely have to have my fights with Midjourney sometimes, but
no, I didn't want a duck. I wanted this.
Sometimes it's also just hilarious because like the things that you think should work and then where it goes, you're just like, what are you doing? No, I mean, I think the one other thing that I just want to keep saying about AI art to anyone who will listen is so much of there's absolutely legitimate concerns about people who are using it unethically and intentionally trying to replicate or steal art for their NFTs or whatever. That's,
that's
but
different.
There's a different, but within like, the other thing that I think motivates so much of the AI backlash is just this perception by people that it's too accessible. That like the idea that anybody can jump in and start using it and start creating is as if that's somehow bad for art, And
can you have enough art in this world? Like really?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like people are bringing.
Libby.
I mean, I definitely think like it absolutely takes a ton of work to try to get it to do the kind of things that you really want to express and that express your style and your creativity. But the fact that anybody can jump in and start playing with it and express their emotions and get, I'm like, that's just wonderful, like that's a wonderful thing. We should never be complaining that creative expression is too easy,
100%.
That's just that's not, it's just, I just think that that's beautiful. And it's obviously you can get way better at it and put insane numbers of hours into it and stuff like that. But you also don't have to. But you also don't have to. You can, Like, I mean, I would love it if just like the average diamond painter just tried out Midjourney or something like that and just
Or Night
took.
Cafe, like Night Cafe has like you can win credits and you get given
Oh,
5
right, right,
credits.
right. Yeah.
Go play. Go have a play. Like seriously, I'm like you, Hannah. Go
Yeah,
play.
and Midjourney has a $10 tier, you know, that's $10 a month if you don't really intend to make a ton of images and just like because the feeling that you'll get, maybe you don't create an image that you think is one that everybody will think is amazing art or something like that, but if you create something that's personal to you and then you get it made into a custom diamond painting, like that's just a wonderful experience, you
I would
know? I would just love for more people to do that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I was very secretive to start with, but that was because all of the crap that was going on at the time. I was very secretive about what ones I actually use. But I mean, I
Yeah.
use multiples. I have probably about 4 or 5 that I use, and because one will be a specific style that is still me, but it's like the Little Leagues is not done on Midjourney. Little Leagues
Yeah.
has been done on something else. And then I've got my more painted, cartoony kind of looks that I do somewhere else. And then my more serious, because I love my realistic looks, they're done on places like Midjourney. But I have like 5 different places that I do them on. You know, and then, but it's what people need to understand is it's for, especially for me and you, it's a starting point. This is the starting point, and then we take that, and it's
Oh,
the
wow.
hour that we spend behind the scenes making it look how we want it to look.
I was trying to
So, yeah.
Libby's got her kids working on images too.
Oh, yeah.
Lisa's stalking you. I think you're going to get a lot of stalkers now.
Okay, yeah, so to recap so yes, Christopher's right. Miranda from Diamond Painting with the Besties unboxed a few of mine from the one with the diamond art, and her video was really great, and she loved my I have a stained glass cat that is just doing this major eye roll, and
Yes.
it's called Our Lady of Perpetual Disdain.
Oh gosh.
It's just like
I'm going to write all the sort of language that you use into the descriptions. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, anyhow, but yeah, it was just the cat with the eye roll. I don't know. I just love cats. So, but when they're giving you that kind of attitude. But no, that video is great. You should absolutely check it out. And then for Lisa, yes, my art is available in a few different ways. I'm on mute.
Bye, Tammy. Thanks for coming, sweetheart, and feel
Feel better,
better.
dear.
Thank you with us.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, Tammy, it was absolutely wonderful
Yeah.
to meet you and everything.
She was also in our viewing, so thank you for joining us in there too.
Yeah, yes, we will be in touch, Tammy. Lisa, are you saying you can't hear what I'm saying, or so do I need to put it in the chat? Do
Oh,
we
I
know?
think she's got it on mute because she's with other people, so she can't. She's got the volume really down. So
Oh,
she
yes.
can't
If
hear
you
it.
could answer the question, write it to her, because
Okay. That's what I thought she was saying.
Miranda
Okay.
was translating before, but I mean Maritza, but I think Maritza left.
Okay.
If you guys could tell your younger self something, what would it be?
Don't be
Before we
afraid.
wrap it up, because it's getting late and I'm tired, and I
Yeah.
think Christopher's getting ready for bedtime. But if you
Don't
guys
be
could say
afraid.
something to your younger self, what would it be?
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Please, I can't tell myself this at 41. I'm terrified of everything.
Gosh. I will answer this question in a second. I'm trying to type to Lisa, but
Hey, I had an anxiety attack on the way to the hospital this morning.
And I need to get off so I can talk to you before I go to bed too, and get my work done because I haven't done any work today.
Hey, this has been good. This has been good.
It has been really good.
Can you believe this woman? We're having a fantastic time here.
I
She wants to get off to do work.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to get in trouble. I got my boss right there on the phone. No, I'm kidding. We're having a great conversation.
See, I gave her this momentous task of putting all the new artwork onto the merchandise. And she's just starting with the cups. She's still got to get to the notebooks and the mouse pads and the posters and the
Yeah. No matter what, you will survive and thrive. This is a phrase, a phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Mine would probably be don't be afraid to stick up for yourself and your dreams.
Yeah. I think mine would be don't wait to be perfect at something before you try it. Like I think it's I wish that I, as my younger self, had approached everything with much more of a spirit of play than a spirit of achievement. That's I think I think that's what my younger self needed for
Yeah.
sure.
I think another one is no is just a word. Unless, okay, and now before anyone goes at me like that, I'm not talking about when you say no to something. Okay. When someone says no, you can't do something, it's just the just words. So when someone says no, you can't be an artist, no, you can't be a mum, no, you can't be this, or no, you can't be a cook, or whatever it is you want to be. If you let them get in your head, then no, you won't. But if you, and this is what I tell my kids, and if you've been on my channel, you would have heard me say this many times. All you can be in life is the best version of you that you can be. And that's my advice for anyone. Be the best version of you that you can be. And I wish I'd taken that on when it was told to me at 12. I wish I was able to appreciate it then as much as I appreciate those words now.
I think one that I would say is what was I just gonna say? Oh, I think
Bye, Nita.
that life can happen to you at any time and in any way. And so the thing that you just always have to come back to a place of saying like, this is my life, this is the one life that I get. And even if it's not the one that I wanted or thought that I wanted, like what I need to do is figure out how to find joy and meaning in this life where I am right now today, you know?
Yeah. Are you happy
And
doing what you're doing?
yeah,
Then that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's all that matters.
And it's just, I mean, I thought that I lost everything when I got sick. And in some ways I did. I didn't have any income for years and I lost a career that I loved. And, but that was the thing is like that choice where you say like, I can keep like refusing to like I can keep trying to return this life that I have, like keep taking it to like the return counter and say, sorry, I would like a different one. Or at some point you can just try to figure out how do I find what I can in this space where I am.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the big things I think I really just constantly try to live by. Yeah.
When you have a health condition that changes your life, and trust me, I've been there a couple of times, once recently, you reevaluate life. You reevaluate what's in your life, and you reevaluate what you want from life. And it's a matter of finding your happiness and your peace.
Yeah.
And if you can find, I found that I thought I'd found it, and then I realized I hadn't. And then now that I have found it, I've realized that I'm really glad that I have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
live for the good times.
Yep. Does anybody have any other questions that you want to ask of them? Any ideas? Chris, do you have any sayings that you like to say to your younger self?
I'm
Or
the
your
same
current
thing.
self.
Nothing I can think of now. That kind of stuff, it takes me a long time to think about.
Okay.
So
I
we'll
can
get
go
messages from you in a couple of days going, I thought of something.
Probably.
I don't know if this is your experience or not. I would probably I wouldn't mind going back to my like 12 or 13 year self and
Oh.
just being like, hey, by the way, you're gay. Like
Oh,
you
I
can figure
always
this
did
out a
that.
little
So
sooner rather than later. That might help.
I have that's the one thing I'm really grateful and lucky for that has never been an issue for me. not
You
personally,
knew who
not
you
in
were.
my life at all. I've never been upset about it. I've never had anybody push back on it. Nothing. But ironically, though, I don't actually live as a gay person because I don't have relationships. I don't have gay friends really, like personal. Well, I don't really have any real life friends much. You all are my friends.
We're real.
I thought I was
No,
real.
no, in
I'm
real
only 8
life.
hours away. Okay, I'll have to come up there and show you that I'm real.
But I know people that I went to school with, like they were super closeted, and we all knew at the time. But as soon as they come out, they're like living the gay life, and I'm like, really, really? Here I am. I'm happy with it. I never had a problem with it. And yeah, I have nothing. And you were in the closet. Now you're all happy. Where is that? So.
Well,
Are
I
you
grew
happy
up.
with your life though? Like at the end of the day, are you happy with who you are right now at this point in time?
Halfway.
Yeah.
Halfway's a good start.
That's good.
Like there's
I mean,
things that I'm happy
yeah.
about that I wouldn't change. Like I'm a very real. I call myself a realistic person. I know my good points and my bad points. I'm happy with the good ones, and I can admit the bad ones. You know.
You're beautiful. We love you.
Oh, thank you.
Libby says, "What is she, an AI, Christopher?"
Well, probably.
Probably, Libby.
We're probably tuning into them with the amount of times that me, you, and Hannah have all kind of been in the like. It's almost like I feel like sometimes I'm connected to the freaking thing.
Felicia wants to know what out of your personal artwork represents you the most as individual artists.
My gorillas.
Ooh. Oh,
Gorillas.
that was fast.
Yeah. My gorillas, the two, Houdini and Mumboezo. It's very hard. That's a new one. I'm still trying to get my mouth around. My gorillas. They are the Mumbalezo. They are the two pieces that I would say radiate who I am, what I stand for. More than
wait,
anything.
I'm angling the wrong way. Wait, can I flip the camera? What am I doing?
I don't know.
I'm trying to
turn around.
There we go. This one is still one of the most personal ones.
I love that one. I remember you showing me that one.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's one that I made so extremely much for me, and no one else has ever bought it, and that's fine with me because it was one of those where I was like, yeah, I don't know if there's much of a market for Georgia O'Keeffe inspired lesbian nature art abstract.
Yes, there is.
But that was one that I made just so very much for me, and so I think it's just like, yeah.
It's
It was
gorgeous.
I just you showing yours made me.
The mother of.
Yes.
I think she just muted. She muted herself.
There we go.
There you go.
It's because I unplugged the other mic. Hang on, we'll just move that out of the way. So him.
That's Houdini.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Yeah. So he's the original. He's I plan to bring him over and frame him and get him sent to give him to Melbourne Zoo, but I just can't part with him. So he's just he's home.
And he's got a brother.
He's now got a brother, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Why are we having to convince anyone that Christopher is lovable?
I ask myself that every single day of my life.
What is going on in this?
That's funny.
I love you, Squishy. You are my Squishy forevermore. And I love myself.
I love you too.
I love you too. Oh, just stop for I love everyone. Oh, how mushy, mushy.
I love you too. I like the fact that over the last 12 months, Hannah and I have actually built a bond and a connection, which I really, really love. So
yeah, I know. I really love that too. Yeah.
Lisa leaves you. I leave him.
No, I think she says she loves him.
I know. I'm just giving her a time. Well, anyway, it's about 10:45 here.
Yeah.
I cannot believe this was like supposed to be an hour, and then I pushed it to like, okay, we'll try 2
And
hours.
it's been
Now
in
we're hitting our
3.
third. I cannot believe that. The
Think of it as a
conversation,
makeup from last week when we unfortunately
exactly.
couldn't be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys weren't here, Brandy was here for a little bit, but she had a family emergency. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do the weekly prize giveaway today. So we'll do it by this weekend. We'll do it at least by Saturday night. I do apologize. Just family situations are more important. And
Yes.
we were having such great conversation with these two lovely ladies. Thank you both. I'm glad, Rose, I didn't send you an invite initially because I didn't think you would be back in time. But
I'm so glad you came.
yeah,
Me
Oh,
too.
yeah,
it's
honestly,
been
my
wonderful.
appointment was meant to last for 3.5 hours, 4 hours, and I went in there, and I'll fill you all in later. But I read, he asked me my symptoms. I showed him photos, including my really badly Angelina Jolie lips, and he knew exactly what was wrong. And he ran some blood tests, and I got my answers, and I've got a plan. And I feel relieved because the scenario that the GP had told me was life threatening. This one isn't, and
Okay,
I'm
good.
more so relieved.
Yeah. So
Um,
join Rose tomorrow if you guys want to get the story. As much as she wants
Yeah.
to share, she'll be live, I'm sure.
yeah, be tomorrow. We want to tell those that like I'm close to the first,
Yeah.
so that's not a
Yeah.
because it's still a big deal, but just not as big a deal, and not
That's
life
good.
threatening, which is really
Yeah.
good. So
And
I'm
an
But
not joining.
answer.
because
Yeah.
An
we'll have left.
answer is
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
An
an
answer is
answer
worth a
and a
lot.
treatment plan, which is even better. So for 16 months, I have been riding this roller coaster, and just knowing that there's an end in sight, just I'm going to be able to eat dairy again eventually, which I'm looking
Oh,
forward to.
that'll be
Really,
great.
yeah. So
Yay.
yeah,
Awesome. Awesome. But I just want to thank you. If you guys want to join us, Rose goes live on tomorrow, 6 to 8 Eastern time, and we'll be there, and we'll have fun, and we'll talk, and maybe see more art. Who knows? And Hannah will maybe come back when we're
I think
done
I
at
can.
some
It
point.
just depends on
Well, not
yeah. Oh
yeah.
no, I can definitely come back. I just don't know if I'll be able to make the live tomorrow. But yes, you
Oh,
can.
oh, yeah.
So no, I will definitely come back.
You're
Yes.
fine. All
so
right.
so Tuesday's your time, which is Wednesday my time. We have open door policy, so if you like, I share the link all the time. So
Yeah.
just come in. We can fit 6 people in, so it's great. So
Yeah. And I want to thank everybody for coming and
welcome.
joining as well. Thank you. Thank
Me
you so
too.
much for hanging out and sticking around and joining in the conversation. It's been wonderful. Christopher, thank you for co-hosting with me. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. And our hearts go out to Brandy. So thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah,
Love you,
Brandy.
friends.
Yeah.
All right. I love you guys. You all have a good night. Give me a thumbs up.
Thank
And
you.
we'll see you in the Facebook group. Bye.
See you
See
guys.
you
All
next
right.
week.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.